And welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
We have a little special guest this week. Andy, you want to introduce our special guest?
From all the way across the country in Colorado, we have our friend Anthony.
Don't say his last name.
I won't do that.
I was just trying to
I'm
say
not
that.
doxing anybody. Our friend Anthony
Please
is
don't
here.
do that.
Anthony.
Hello.
There he is. Listen,
Hello.
this is amazing.
This is our first guest.
2021, and we decided to pick the person furthest away from us to have on here.
Exactly. You know what, though?
Not have a Jersey person.
It's all about quality. Hey, you know what, though? I'm a former Jersey person.
That's right.
And it's only taken Brian a few minutes to set it up.
Yeah, this
so
was,
that was
this
really
is
good.
like 10 minutes of setup, and we're doing this.
Now I realize why you guys have him, because you guys can't do shit together.
Well, no, this would have
I
been
get
this would have been not even happening. We're like
I said,
this.
me and Andy, we would still be sitting around a table just saying, we should do a podcast about the Love Boat.
Or we just have the phone sitting in the middle of the two of us
Podcast about a
screaming at
podcast.
it.
Doing a podcast. Anyway.
So, Jason,
Yes.
now that we've introduced Anthony, tell us about the show.
Oh, definitely. This is
The
we have
exciting new podcast.
we have 3 stories this week, and the names of those stories. Andy, real quick. Hopefully, you could put the 3 stories with each video.
I
know
do,
you had
I
some
do
trouble
have problems
next
with
week.
these. I actually have a funny story about that, but I'll let you do the introduction.
Okay,
first.
so our 3 stories are The Old Man and the Runaway, The Painters, and A Fine Romance. And the original air date of this episode was December 24th, 1977, which I thought was interesting.
So this is the true
a
Christmas
new episode
episode,
on
yeah.
Christmas Eve. I thought that was a little different than you usually get.
I'd like to I'm showing Jason my phone so that he knows I'm talking the truth. I was watching this on my phone at work this afternoon because I didn't know if I'd have enough time to watch this episode.
Yes.
And the title came up and it said, The Old Man and the Runaway AF. And I said to myself as I watched this, because whatever the AF was cutting off and it said AF, and I'm like, yeah, this is AF. I was like, it's as fuck, because that was gross.
This
the
whole episode,
The whole
yeah.
episode.
I
So
agree.
anyway,
The whole episode.
that's it. I looked at my phone, and as I'm figuring out what's going on in this episode, I was like, this is AF, all right.
It definitely took some weird twists and turns there. So
Very.
let me read the IMDb description here. It's a short one. It's an older man finds a teenage stowaway in his bathroom. Julie falls for one of her brother's friends, whose cabin mate urges him to pursue her, and Julie hires inept painters to paint the captain's suite in his favorite color. So those are your 3 stories.
The usual questions you would ask me, I want you to ask to Anthony tonight. Like you would ask me, Andy.
Is there
what kind of color was Captain Stubing's favorite color?
So you want me to see if he paid attention to it?
Because I don't pay attention.
well,
I always get the questions
I'm going to
wrong.
ask you first, were there any Titanic jokes in this episode?
I don't remember hearing any.
I didn't
Titanic
hear
jokes.
one.
That's one thing we like to do on the podcast here, and we like to call out when there's a Titanic joke or an elevator scene.
There was a Titanic joke in the original pilot and then the first episode. We thought it was going to be a trend,
Yep.
and then it didn't
And it
become a
didn't,
trend.
yeah.
And then there was a whole episode about the Titanic
Yep,
because
with, Ray
Bolger was on, and he had survived the Titanic, and so it's not as funny as it was early on.
Last week, Andy found a nice continuity error. Remember
Did
that
I?
one? You had us pause the guy walks on the ship
guy that-
twice.
Yeah, one of the extras in the background came on.
Walked in twice.
Yeah,
Came around.
within a minute. I was like, isn't that the same guy?
I love 70s primetime TV.
Oh, it's so
it's
good.
Terrible. It's good. It's,
It's
terrible.
terrible. It's all the
It
same.
is good and terrible.
Next on the podcast, and we like to discuss the guest stars for the week on this episode. And first off, we'll start off with Will Gear. This is his only episode
Grandpa
of The Love
Walton.
Boat. Yes.
Grandpa Walton.
I know why this
Recognize
is
him
his
right
only,
away.
I know why this is his only.
I also
episode.
know why it's his last
Because
episode.
he died.
He did.
He
Actually,
died
4 months.
4 months after this episode, he died.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Grandpa Walton.
he couldn't.
He died in 1978. He was 76 years
Yeah,
old when
maybe
he
I
passed.
don't know
Yeah.
how old he was. But
He was in 145 episodes of the Waltons.
as a person that never watched the Waltons, when this guy's
did.
name popped up, I was like, I don't even know who this guy is. So I
Yeah.
IMDb'd him and said, okay,
I-
he's a Walton guy.
I thought I recognized him, and I paused it, and I went to IMDb. I'm like, Grandpa Walton.
Yes.
I said, I know him. Because my parents used to watch the Waltons all the time. We used to all crowd around the TV.
And there was I think that was a good 12, 13 seasons.
Yeah,
it was
I
was
never watched. I knew the
Yeah.
Good Night John Boy.
Don't they go through like the whole family?
Good Night,
Like,
John
That was like the
Good
big
night,
thing.
Paul.
Like, I remember that. Like
Yeah.
Good Night John Boy, but like
that just
that's all
reminds
I
me
know.
of a Family Guy episode, but that's another story. For
I know,
another time.
I know
usually
the
happens-
exact
that
episode you're
usually
talking about
happens
too. Yeah.
So anyway, Will Geer. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I didn't know anything else really that he had done. I mean, and I didn't really look because there was a lot of stuff that was prior to this, and
Yeah,
You know,
not
He was
nothing after.
He played a cowboy. He played a cowboy in like the golden era westerns too.
No, he was old enough to be that kind of guy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
40s, 50s.
he had that kind of stature too, just like
Yeah.
Our next special guest star this week was the one, the only Artie Johnson.
Artie Johnson.
He's
Artie
Laugh-In.
Johnson.
Yeah,
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he just.
I
he,
I saw his face. Like, who is this guy?
he
know,
just
that-
died
what
like
was his
last year.
catchphrase on Laughing?
I know. It's,
Very in, no.
very
Yeah, very
interesting.
interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
He's in 8 episodes of The Love Boat, 8 different characters.
Interesting.
So he's
interesting.
This is the only episode where he's a painter.
Or that character's name, whatever his name is, because he wasn't really a painter. In this
He
either.
played Ronald. That's
Oh,
it,
okay.
just Ronald. And I go back
Ronald.
to Will Geer. He was Franklin Butherstone, which was a very interesting name.
Okay.
And Franklin
Butherstone.
with a Y. So it's not even I-N, it's a Y-N. It seems very...
It's very European.
Seems like a fake alias. Besides laughing, I don't know anything.
I
from
also
Artie
didn't know.
Johnson
He was
either.
in... He had 181 credits. Some of those could have been a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
He did 94 episodes of Laughing.
Okay. I mean, that Will Geer
Wow.
guy had a lot of. He was in one episode of this, one episode of that, a lot of 70s
Yeah.
stuff. So
You
that's
see that
how
a
you get,
lot for
you
these
get,
characters.
You get those credits.
Yeah. And it just depends on like how old they are, and you'll see like
I'm gonna bet you him and Henry Fonda were in like at least 3 old westerns.
Oh,
That's
possible.
probably- yeah.
I'm gonna
Henry
throw that up
Fonda.
right now. 3.
I said Peter
What
Fonda
is-
before. I meant Henry
No, Henry
Fonda.
Fonda.
I meant Henry
No.
Fonda, but it said Peter Fonda.
Be careful betting on things here because I lost a bet.
I still haven't gotten that $5.
Yeah, but you guys can't collect from me because I live all the way. I live 1,600 miles away.
Which is
from
funny.
you,
I
so.
saw that exact episode of.
Tell him what the bet was.
Well, it was Carol Channing.
How many
How many
episodes?
episodes she appeared in on
Yeah.
Love Boat? Yeah, because I was
Wow.
confusing Carol Channing with
I got a mine real quick.
a previous.
With Ja-
that's much more.
with Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Nah.
we
with
did.
the-
We have had, no. We had an Ava Gabor episode. right?
I was
Ava
confused
Gabor?
with someone else, but then we were talking about Carol Channing and how many episodes she'd been on, and the over under was like 3, and she was like on 12 or something like that. It was a crazy amount.
yeah. It
And
was
what did you
way.
say?
I said
Andy,
like
Andy went over. He chose the
3.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. That was a big win for him. Unlike his Giants.
Oh, ooh, really?
Oh.
We're doing that?
Ooh.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I
Wow.
apologize.
Wow.
Can you cut that out?
Maybe by the time this airs, the Giants will have won a game.
They could have turned it around.
Of course,
yeah.
this won't air probably for another 3 months, so
This will,
they might win a game
this
by
will
then.
air after Thanksgiving, so you'll see if how they're doing. If they're going to make any playoff run, or
Did you watch any of that game last night?
I did not.
There will be no playoff run for this
No,
team.
I watched. I watched The Love Boat last night. As a matter of fact.
Hey, I do a podcast about that.
Yeah, I'm wearing a T-shirt about that right now.
You
Speaking
are.
of T-shirts,
Yes.
What's a podcast? Never
There
mind.
you go. There you go.
speaking of T-shirts, we have merchandise available. So if you want to hit me up on Twitter at our exciting and new handle, where Jazoo74 is my personal handle. Reach out to me. You could also reach out to Andy.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Papa Bad Kitty. That's my Twitter. Oh, no, that's Brian's.
That's mine.
Yes.
Oh,
but
listen,
Andy's
I just wanted to hear
AE
Brian speak.
What is it?
AE
Gonzo
Gonzo
something.
1.
1. That's it.
It's been
I-
AE Gonzo something for 20
Ever.
years now.
Something dark side.
I'm
I
sure it was
think.
AE Gonzo, and I forgot the
Something.
password, and then it became AE Gonzo 1. But it's been AE Gonzo 1 for many years. So
Yeah.
I'll read no tweets.
Yeah. So making our little shout out to the person who'll be making our shirts, and that's my sister. Her company's Crafting
I
at
have
the
some of
midnight.
those shirts. They're quality shirts.
Yes.
Really, we're promoting people now here.
Well,
Is that
I mean,
something?
You know,
That's my sister.
shameless
so-
promotion. Is it promotion or shameless promotion?
It's totally shameless.
Could get us
she
another-
should run.
look,
she
she
should
gave me
run
a
an
t-shirt,
ad
you
at
know,
the
get
end
some
of our.
more.
We should have
Hey.
her run an ad.
By the
for
way,
free shirts.
I wore her Mandalorian shirt to Star Wars Day at Coors Field
There you go.
Nice.
the other day. So
Nice.
And the City Garden shirts, I get compliments
City
on
Garden
that all
shirts
the
are
time.
awesome.
Yes.
All the time.
with the three that keeps falling off, and I keep putting it back on.
Oh,
We'll have to get his fella. We'll have to get you another one.
Might
What
as well
size
get-
are you again?
That's all
Large.
Yes, I'm large.
Large.
I'm large.
He's large.
I'm large.
I'm trying
Charge?
to get
No,
get down to it.
In
2X.
charge? No, I'm married now, so not in charge anymore. Anywho.
Our next guest this week is Pat Morita. He's in 2
Arnold.
episodes as 2 different characters.
Okay. I wonder if he and Artie Johnson are on together again as partners in crime.
That would be
for
fun
anything
if they
else.
were, yeah.
God.
He plays Vincent. He's also a painter with Artie Johnson in this episode. He's can you guess, Anthony, how many episodes of Happy Days was Pat Morita in?
As Arnold? Oh, good Lord. I'm going to say, okay, so 70s episodes, what, 25, 26 episodes?
Roughly about that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's about
I want to say
250 some episodes.
70. I'm going to say 78 episodes.
Okay, I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go under. I think he was on only the first season. So I'm going to
70
say. So I'm going to say like 25 episodes.
25.
No, because
Brian.
Hey,
Al
listen,
came
we're betting
way
here.
later,
Don't
man.
try to talk me into what I'm doing.
You're saying 25
Sorry.
episodes?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think he was only on the first season. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean how many episodes of Happy Days? Not
Yes,
the
yes.
Love
I'm
Yes,
sorry, yeah,
Happy
Happy
Days.
Days.
Happy Days. Sorry.
Our producer wasn't listening. 'cause
He's
I
only
definitely
here
said
to make
Happy
us sound good, but he's not here to answer the questions. That was a curveball.
I'm surprised we got him on the mic this early.
Pay
I
attention.
pushed my button.
Goddamn button.
So what's your guess, Brian? We got 25,
75,
76,
76.
76.
I'm going to say 2 seasons.
78.
Okay. So
Like
I'm going to do 47.
And I can't guess because I looked
You
it
know the
up.
number.
The correct answer is 26 episodes.
See, I know my
Wow.
stuff. He was
All
only
right,
on
man.
like the
He,
first season.
he was
All
he was
right.
in the first season, and I think part of the second, and then he's in a couple of episodes later on, like when people maybe got married or something like
Oh,
that.
did he
I think-
really
Really
come
old
I think
back?
he did come back
I
for
don't
an
even.
episode.
I didn't even
yeah.
know he came
I
back.
lost
That's
that
awesome.
bet.
Hey, I'll expect my internet dollar in the mail. Send that to me.
Hey, I pay in Bitcoin.
I want you to
We
pay
do
in pie.
accept.
I pay in Doge.
Pay me.
I got plenty of Dogecoin. Never mind.
I want you to pay me in pie.
I was an hour late mining pie today. I apologize.
We'll talk about this later.
All right,
I'll
never
call you
mind.
to my
No,
office.
you're in trouble, is what I'm saying.
We digress.
Obviously, Karate Kid is another Pat Morita vehicle,
Yep, of course.
and
He's probably more well known for Karate Kid than he is Happy Days to
yes,
anybody
yeah.
younger than us.
Mhm.
Anybody
It
younger
depends on
than
the
us.
yes.
Yeah,
I was
anybody
gonna say
younger
depends
than
on
us
the
knows him
generation.
Yeah.
because they wouldn't know.
And I think
Happy
he was
Days.
in all Karate Kids, even if it was like cameos in some of the newer ones. I'm not sure, but
Even
I thought
like the
because
Will Smith one.
his top 4 IMDb were all Karate Kid movies. So.
I only saw the first 2,
I
so
guess-
I don't really know anything
and you
after
could
that.
he's sort of in Cobra Kai, but just as like
picture.
archival footage, but like that archival footage.
Archival footage.
Yeah.
Was there a flashback on one of those? Like
I think
did
it
he-
just shows
Oh,
like
the Japanese
Yeah.
stuff,
Yes.
right? Yeah, when they went to Japan, there was
Yeah. Our next
mind.
guest was
It's all
in
good.
3 episodes as 3 different characters. Tom Poston. He plays
From Laugh and Do.
Mickey O'Day.
Oh yeah, the swinger.
He was swinging. He was swinging for the.
he was
fences.
All the gold.
He was in all episodes of all 184 episodes of Newhart.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really.
He was
know
only
him
in
from.
5
Newhart.
episodes of Bob Newhart.
Was that after the next version?
Bob
of
Newhart was the one.
newer
After-
one, yeah.
After
yeah,
Newhart, like
yeah.
after MASH.
Yep. He was in 54 episodes of Mork and Mindy.
Oh, of course.
Oh
I
my God, that's
totally
right.
forgot about that.
Yep.
Forgot about it. Wow.
In fact,
This
that's
is why I
actually
do the research.
that's actually what I know him from, probably before Newhart.
I
but
think
just
I
forgot
know,
about
and that's
that.
where I remember him from.
And this
Mork
is
and
what
Mindy as well.
77. So Mork and Mindy wasn't out yet, right? 'Cause
It was right
that's
about
an
to.
Look at
80-ish
Mindy
show.
was.
I want to say
80.
78, 79.
No,
for Mork
it
and
was a
Mindy.
Happy Days spinoff. It had to have been like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years in the Happy Days.
How dare you?
You know
Yeah,
what?
Happy
you know what?
Days
For a
started in
minute there, I
75.
forgot it was a
No,
Happy Days
was it-
spinoff.
Was it that early?
Wow.
Yeah, well, Mork visited Richie and Fonz.
Mork and Mindy was 78 to 82.
78, huh? Wow, I thought it was later than that. So this is right before Mork and Mindy,
Yeah.
like months before.
Yeah,
Thank God he didn't have a heart
Wait, so
attack.
were you
and die
even
in the
born
boat.
then?
I was, yes.
Barely.
74.
You're like what? Ah,
74,
okay.
yep.
all
He's
right.
a youngin.
He
Brian,
is a youngin.
Brian, our producer Anthony, is our age. He's months. He's actually in between us, months wise.
So Anthony's the oldest out of the 3.
So I'm the oldest
Yeah,
here.
March,
Okay.
May, July of the same year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm the old fuck in the group.
He
Can
was
you
also
say fuck?
Yes,
I'm
we
sorry.
can. We advertise that as
We have a big E on our.
yeah, we're an
podcast.
explicit podcast. He was in 3 episodes of that '70s show. He was Kitty's father.
Oh, okay.
I remember that.
And Betty White was her mom, right?
I do remember that. Oh, Betty White.
I mean, I definitely watched that
She's a
70s show,
treasure.
but I kind of didn't watch.
99. She's 99.
Yeah,
Betty
so
White,
she's on it. I didn't watch it late, so if that was like a later kind of thing, I didn't watch it for sure.
I just watched that '70s show
The
for the first
entire
time.
show, huh?
Yeah. Did you ever watch that one, Brian?
I did watch that.
I mean, it was very good at the beginning, and then it became very bad at the
Oh,
end,
the
as most sitcoms do.
That last season was almost
the
unwatchable.
non-Topher Grace,
Yeah.
non-Ashton Kutcher.
What you would
one.
call it? Mila Kunis and Fez got together.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you
Mila
Yeah.
Kunis.
doing?
That's something
Shut up,
everybody
Meg.
agrees on.
With Billy Bob Thornton.
No, Mila Kunis.
No,
Oh, yeah.
God, no. Jesus, God, no. Mila.
I think. Yeah, I think.
Kunis.
I don't think I've ever met anybody who's like, ugh.
No,
Maybe Paul Lynde.
No. Or Anson Williams. Never mind.
which is the way I thought this episode was actually going.
Speaking of, I did too as well. Our next guest is his one and only episode,
One and
playing
only.
Sean McGlynn, Anson Williams.
Anson
Potsie.
Williams. Yeah.
He's only got 19 acting credits,
Well,
but he's got 45 directing credits.
I was going to say, everybody knew he was a big-time director after Happy Days. Like, that was one of those things, like, whatever happened to Potsie? He
Okay,
became
now-
a director. Oh, what did he direct? I don't know.
I'll give you some hints. He directed 9 episodes of 90210.
No? Okay.
9 episodes of
Really?
Melrose Place.
Well, I definitely saw those shows.
He did 2 episodes of Love Boat: The Next Wave.
Nice.
He
Wait,
did,
That's
yeah.
a
What?
That's a spin-off
That's a-
show that came
that's-
out in the
yeah.
late 80s with who was the captain? That was
Robert Urich.
Robert
is
Urich was the
in that
captain.
one.
Okay.
Nice.
We might get
The
there
Ice
eventually.
Pirate. The Ice Pirate.
That's
nice.
special episodes on our Patreon.
Check in 8 years from now when we finally get to the new wave episodes of the podcast.
His
Or
very first
Love Boat.
directing credit was an ABC after school special.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Okay.
Let's
Was
see.
it one of the drug? Was it one of the anti-drug ones?
I don't think
Were
it
there
was
any
one of
other
those.
kind?
No, it was about 2.
The one from Helen Hunt?
I think
The
it was
The one where Helen Hunt jumped off the roof and because he was on like
There's-
angel dust.
There's one where Scott Baio smokes weed. I remember that
Oh
one.
my god, that poor guy. And what?
I think this one
what
was
happened to
about
him?
where one of the kids was special needs and he somebody befriended him or something like that. He was in Happy Days, obviously, but there was 255 episodes of Happy Days. Can you tell me how many episodes Anson Williams as Potsie was in of Happy Days?
251.
I am going to go over.
Anthony says 251.
I am going to say 255. I think he was in
Andy
every
says
single episode.
255. Brian, one. You got to go 1.
Oh, yeah.
You get
Go
one.
under 250. Say 250.
No, he just
or
goes
lower.
1. He gets all of them.
Oh,
Like
it gets
Price is
everything.
Right. Price is Right
Sorry,
rules.
I forgot the Price is Right rules. Yeah.
The answer is 219.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he leave early?
I think there might have been some episodes, where he might not have been in. Like, they
oh,
might
I
have
thought
just,
he was in
Did
every
he go to
single
California with them?
What was Brian's guess?
one.
I
So
think
he
you're
got everything
thinking of,
below you.
Laverne and Shirley when they went.
No,
to
you got
California.
251. He got everything below you,
Oh.
so he won.
Yeah, Brian takes the pick a prize off the top.
Nah.
There's a Millennium Falcon around here somewhere. You can have
Always trying to give away my Millennium Falcon. My aluminum
those.
Falcon.
Those were our special guests this week.
And what a male-dominated.
There's one
thing.
other special guest. It's our stowaway, but
Yeah.
I've saved her for
But
later.
she
We'll
wasn't
talk-
even listed in the credits.
No.
Dude, I had to
beginning.
look her up
Yeah,
to
she's
figure out. I
a
recognize
nobody.
her face.
And then I was
No,
surprised at
wait.
what she was in. She was
Okay,
only in
wait.
6 things.
She was in the electric company.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what I had,
Yeah,
yep.
I saw that, but I was like, do I
1971.
really remember her from the electrical? Because
She was in
would
like a
have been-
group
I
of
remember
kids
her
that were
from something.
singing.
She would have been like 7.
Yeah, it was like a group of kids that were singing.
Yep.
And if you looked, she probably had that big blonde hair, curly blonde hair. or
She
whatever,
looked like
she had in
someone
this.
like she looked like a Tatum O'Neal or one of those kinds of 70s girl actors, but she
We do get
obviously
some.
was a nothing.
Do we have Christy McNichol in an
Christy-
episode
we already
already?
did
Right?
that, yeah.
I think she's in.
But she looked like one of those girls. I was like, oh, I know this girl for sure. And then I looked her up. I'm like, oh,
She
she's
looked
done
like she
nothing.
should have been somebody else that we knew
Yeah,
or whatever.
she
you
looked
know?
like that.
Yeah.
She acted like that too. She acted like one
Yeah,
of those
she only had
people.
6 acting credits, so yeah, not
And
much.
she,
for
I
her.
didn't. Is she still alive? I mean,
Yeah,
she's only
she
a little
is.
older than
Yeah,
us, so I'm hoping she is.
Yeah, let's see where do I have.
She was
some
born in what?
information.
She was born in 58, I think.
Wow, that's still young, right?
Not that. Well, that's like
12 years older than us?
years
Her name is
older than
Bain,
us.
Bain Johnson. Her name is Bayn.
Yeah.
And
Bane of my existence.
the Electric Company had 780 episodes. She was in 260
Jesus
of them.
Christ, really?
We're
Yeah.
gonna turn you
780
on.
episodes.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it was on for quite a
I don't
while.
know, Brian. I can't hear you because your microphone's not fucking on.
Was that a daily show?
I don't know if it was a daily show, but it was.
I know it was. Wasn't it like Saturday morning?
I don't.
No, it was
it
after.
was
Well, no,
PBS.
it was after Sesame Street.
Yeah, it was on PBS, so it was on whenever.
Oh, so
whenever
it
that
might have
was
been
on.
week daily. For,
Daily.
And then there was a Great Space Coaster after that.
Oh, that's so good. On the Great Space
Electric
Coaster.
Company, I believe, spawned Morgan Freeman, right?
Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, he was
yes.
on that. And Spider-Man.
Absolutely, he was on that.
Spider-Man was so fun whenever
Spider-Man.
that would come on. Yeah.
And Spider-Man was only like 6 years old at that time, so that was kind of novel to have him
Yeah.
on there. That wasn't like he was gigantic at that point. Because this is what happens, Anthony. So we were talking about the Love Boat, but somehow we're talking about the Electric Company for the last 5 minutes.
You know what? It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Is that an arm or
That was Brian trying to
Brian
get
turning
the
on our
monitor
our
on.
monitor.
So
It
we
looked
could-
like I didn't know it was an arm or a scrotum for a second there. It was hairy.
Brian was turning on our 4K HD monitor.
Yeah,
here.
so we're gonna watch.
Nice.
We watch as we discuss. No, you're
Yeah.
not on that.
You know what?
You're just on a regular
Oh.
old phone.
Nice shit.
Sorry.
Oh well. That's all right.
Yeah, you're on an iPod
You know what, though?
or iPhone 3, I think that is. I'm not sure.
iPhone 3.
It's a potato phone.
I might have one of those over here. Never mind.
The potato phone was the only phone that
I
worked.
save all my.
That is true. That's because
The
you're
Obama phone?
it's your phone. All these systems are geared towards crap. You have a Mac going here and all that, but no, you have junk, and so junk works with junk.
But this equipment's really great.
Oh, listen, I don't have any of this equipment, so I'm making fun of something that isn't even mine. I should be kissing your ass instead of making fun of you.
Brian, if nobody said it now, I'm sure they thank you every day in their head.
Jason and I have gone back and forth saying how much we appreciate Brian because
And
there's only so much sitting on the couch saying we should do a podcast. You can only do that for so long before it's just like, okay.
And honestly, we did it for a long time before we started this. So
Yes.
and
Finally
Anthony, you were part of some of those conversations
I was
that we
part
had.
of
you
them.
know?
I was part of them early on.
And
I
finally,
remember.
Brian said, "Hey, I got equipment," and we're like, "Okay."
Yeah, didn't you? And what was that podcast you did? 6 beers in.
Well, that's not official. I don't know if we can.
Are we allowed
announce
to say that?
because
You might if you take that out.
We
if you
did that
have to.
one. We did that one time.
We have one
and-
recording of
Yes.
Did you ever listen to it? Like back?
I never
to hear
did.
it?
It's actually on this computer, right?
Nice.
I never.
How about we listen to that and we do a podcast on that?
That would not be a bad idea.
A podcast on a podcast?
Yeah,
Yes.
a podcast on a podcast nobody's
on
ever
a
listened to.
podcast.
It's sort of
On a-
Inception-like, and we'll spin a dreidel at the end.
Jesus, that's a rabbit
I
hole.
think it was a top, not a dreidel.
I know. I'm
That's fine.
switching it up for copyright.
Oh, okay. Wait, what?
You know, hey, if you guys are going to spin a dreidel, I'll go get my wife. Never mind.
No, that's okay. Maybe at the Hanukkah episode.
Congratulations on the recent nuptials. It wasn't too long ago.
Thank you. It was It was June 5th in Cabo San Lucas.
Which the Love Boat stops at many times.
Yeah,
Cabo
yeah.
is
You
definitely a
probably
spot on
seen the
Love Boat.
Pacific Princess
Probably.
go by while you were there. I mean, she's a pretty ship.
We saw a lot of big fucking ships down there.
All right, so
here comes the fun part. We're going to get right into this episode.
right in.
Please do.
An hour and a half into this podcast. Let's get right into
How
this.
far in are we, Brian?
We're not that long. 20 minutes or so, I'd
Nah.
say.
Yeah,
35
I'd say
minutes?
like 24 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's about what we like to do. The first scene here is we're seeing the ship we were just speaking of, and there's
LA
two
always looks
directors
so
this time.
LA always looks so smoggy. I noticed that. The director of the
Two
second
directors,
two
but there
stories.
was altogether there was 5 writers
Yeah.
because 2 of the stories had 2 writers on it. Couldn't see any products being loaded because a couple of the scenes we've had where you could see the beer that one and the eggs. Remember
Yes.
with Chef Boyka.
I'd like to add that none of these stories deserve to have more than one writer. In fact, one person could have written all 3 of these episodes.
You know
a
what, though?
robot.
I want to make a comment
Yeah,
Go for it.
about the stock footage of the Pacific Princess.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
Parked in Puerto Vallarta. It's always cloudy.
No, this
I was
is-
just saying,
It's like
it's
you
LA.
know, it's
This is
always
actually
cloudy.
San Pedro
Is it
here,
LA?
yeah.
yeah, and it looks smoggy. It always
It's San Pedro.
Yes.
it always looks
Okay.
smoggy, but it's LA.
It does.
So I guess
it really does.
We get
But once we get out to sea,
Yeah.
it's never cloudy. It's never rainy. It's
and
always
at night
nice and blue.
you get that really nice sky. It's just, but you get
Yeah,
it's so fake. But you
Yes.
get that, and there's
And a
that
nice
moonlight,
helicopter
yeah.
shot.
There was one part during this episode where they were out on the deck, the old man and the girl. And
Yes.
the
The water,
the
right?
blue
Yeah.
screening or green.
old
was-
pedo and the
oh my god!
girl.
I was like, they couldn't have done a better job of that. But back
like-
then, I guess they couldn't.
But it distracts me like right away. Like when you see it, I notice it right away.
I think it was like the old school. They were actually filming in front of a
live
matte
studio
painting
audience.
of an ocean or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks so bad, but whatever.
Hey, Anthony, did you notice the laugh track throughout the episode, which was just
Oh my
horrible
God!
at times?
You know what? I always notice laugh tracks. You know what? It's cringeworthy and funny at the same time.
It's the best when they laugh at the most inappropriate times.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We have our own laugh track too,
Nice.
so
Yes.
You got a cart machine too?
We have everything here.
I guess-
I'm telling you,
I guess it's
Brian
not a
is the
cart
jack of
machine
all trades.
anymore.
listen. I've been playing. I've been messing around with the drums a little bit, and I can even do this.
Nice. Okay. I need to remember that. That's
Yes,
a good
of
one.
course.
All right, so our opening scene here, we see Grandpa, which is pretty much what I'm going to call him through this episode.
Grandpa Walton?
Yes, curmudgeon of a man here. He doesn't want to play deck tennis, ping pong, and he doesn't want anything to do with the 2 swimming pools.
I love these people that come on cruises to do nothing. Like they are actually
It's almost
angry.
like they were trying to make a TV show about that, like 10 years later, 12 years
They're
later.
angry that they're on the cruise. Like, how dare I be on this cruise? By the way, you're calling him Grandpa. He is Mark Twain to me. Every time I looked at this guy, I was like,
He is.
did they
looks like-
cast Mark
yeah.
Twain in this?
Did he play Mark
He looks
Twain?
like he looks like a
certainly
fat,
could
tall
have.
Mark Twain.
But I mean, like, he could have definitely played him. Mark Twain was dead.
Speaking of
for-
fat and tall, there was a fat joke because Julie said if he did take advantage of the pools, he would make a big splash.
She
And
did
like,
say
looked
that.
at
I
him.
would have been like, "F you, lady."
And,
Like, how
then
dare you?
he mentions the Mahankahilla River gets nasty and spits up all over McKeesport, Pennsylvania. So
I
we got a
believe
little
that's the
Keystport, Pennsylvania.
That's
oh
up.
God, the
Mahoney.
Mahagalula,
Mahagahila.
Mahaga, some
Mechaleka. I thought it was
I do know
Mechaleka
how to
High.
pronounce it, but now you guys have screwed up my brain.
Monongahela.
Something like that. Why can't they just name it like East River and West River?
That's River 12, I think, over there. 13 or 12. I'm not sure.
Got to make it confusing.
Hey, Brian, do me a favor. Enable the screen sharing. I want to show Andy something.
Okay.
I'm looking right at you, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's
I know, but it's the episode. I got the episode on the screen right here.
Okay. Hang on.
Also, real quick, when we're doing this, Grandpa here said that he wanted his solitude. He didn't want to get mixed up with any of the Sun City swingers. I thought that was
Sun City Swingers.
that was an interesting.
Yes, is that like South Africa Sun City or what is that?
I'm not sure, but I think he wanted nothing.
As soon as I heard, go ahead. Sorry.
He's in those swinger clubs out there in the L.A. You know,
Or
and
Pennsylvania.
McKeesport.
We can't figure out how to do
Yeah,
it.
We
so-
can't do that. The
Don't worry
technology's
about
not
it.
there.
It's all good.
It's a
It's all
potato phone.
Goddamn potato phones.
So
Anyway.
right after that
I
scene, what do you
digress.
got
Continue.
here, Andy? What do we got going on?
This is Doc and Captain, and Captain's all excited because his room's getting painted, right? Is that
Yes.
what they're talking about right here?
Yes, we don't find out the color yet, but
saffron some thing.
all right,
Yeah.
close. We'll get in the next scene. We'll discuss it. You get a little bit
It's
of the
yellow.
elevator here. I called this out a little bit because
Jason loves the
he
elevator
does.
scenes.
And then Julie sees Potsie here, and Potsie doesn't recognize her
Right.
because she's Bobby's little sister, who
And
was
Bobby was her friend.
Bobby. No, Bobby was his friend.
Oh, I thought he was Bobby's brother. I thought Bobby
No.
was the younger brother.
Julie has a brother, Bobby.
Oh, it was her brother.
Yeah.
And he was Bobby. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
She was,
I knew there was a brother in
She was
there
metal.
somewhere.
She was Metal Mouth, right?
Yeah, I guess she had braces.
Yeah.
Metal mouth.
And then Tom Poston jumps right behind him like, I'm waiting in line
But
here.
first, we find out what room Potsie's in.
Fiesta Deck 314.
Oh, cabin 314 of the Fiesta deck.
Oh,
nice.
yay, I'm paying
Nice.
attention. I'm paying
nice.
attention.
And that's real applause there, people. Right?
I should have waited for Anthony to answer. Would you have known that, Anthony?
Nope.
Yeah, that's another thing
No.
I like to point out whenever they talk about the rooms or where they're staying. Not in this episode, but a lot of times you'll get a random person come on and say, "Hey, I'm looking for Andy. He's in one of these cabins," and they give it to him immediately.
Jason just
See?
doxed me.
Oh, they're in
Hear that, man?
314.
Wait, did I say your last name?
It's my old name, yeah. But it's Jason.
two-
Jason and I are constructing
2 to 1.
Jason and I are constructing a full-size Love Boat with all the rooms, and then we're going to put all the guest stars on little
Where they stayed throughout the
little toothpicks in those
Perfect.
rooms. And here's the Chachi / Charo / I don't know, Bill Bixby. room or
Charo, that
something
was the
like
other one.
Yeah, Charo. We've
Yeah,
already
we've had a Charo
episode.
episode. She's in a lot. I think she's in
Yeah,
about
I came
10 or
late.
12 episodes.
I came late.
Yeah, she's almost like a feature player on the show.
Who was it last week? Florence Henderson. She's in 10
in a lot,
episodes.
yeah.
Florence.
She was good. I enjoyed that episode last week.
So Tom Poston jumps over his back saying,
yeah,
like,
so he's like,
no one's helping me.
Hey, what's going on?
He's doing a little bit of a Rodney thing there. He definitely is.
And we find out that he's also rooming with Potsie, which we've had some room sharing in the past. That
we had Suzanne Summers and Brenda Sykes were together in one, and the John Ritter and I forget the girl, whoever.
Tova.
They were sharing a room together too, yeah. So I guess at some point back in the day, you were able to come on as a single and share a room. I don't think that happens anymore.
There they are getting onto the elevator.
Getting on the elevator.
Well, not it
had to be something like, hey,
COVID era.
You get your room half price, I guess, if you're splitting it with somebody, right? Here we get the excited Doc about to talk to Julie Captain excited to talk to Doc and Julie about his cab, and he's basically going to show them. And Doc made a joke, says, "What color did you get? Dingy off-white?" He said. And Julie says she hired Artists Color Coordinate Consultants Incorporated. That's the name of the company, and they're not just painters; they're tint engineers.
Is there an acronym that should be pulled out of that name?
It was ACCCI, so it didn't really. Yeah, I was hoping it would have been
better if it was like SCAM or something like that, since they turn out to be con artists at the end. But
okay, spoiler. So what was the color that you said it was, Ant?
It was sunset saffron, some fucking thing.
Andy, you want to give it a try?
That's all I got.
I would have gotten sapphire sunset, and there was another word.
Brian, do you have
Singapore?
No, I don't
Sunset
remember
Singapore.
it.
There you go. Singapore Sunset Saffron.
Nice.
Boom. I was close.
Yeah.
Nice.
It seemed like you said all three words at one point, but they were never all together.
Not in the right order.
So
can I point something out?
Yeah, go.
Anthony's wearing an AC/DC 74 jailbreak shirt.
Nice.
Did you see them in 1974, Anthony?
I did not, but I got it on that website that I sent you.
That's a nice website.
Come on, I was 4 years old.
I'm just asking.
Listen,
man. Some people have a problem with
I was born that year, so that was a great AC/DC show. I know that.
Some people have a problem with that.
You know what? I don't. Speaking of wearing
I know somebody that has a problem with that.
You're going to promote the T-shirt again so close?
Asshole.
No, that wasn't towards me, right? That was towards Brent, right?
What?
No, it's absolutely.
Oh, okay, I missed it because I was just like, I said something that I heard asshole. I was like,
no.
With the HE double hockey,
it was Brent's. It was Brent's. If you didn't go to the show, you can't get.
Oh my God, he tried so hard.
Fuck you.
Did anybody? I don't think anybody agreed with him, right?
Nobody agreed with him. You know what's funny? If I can digress from the Love Boat for
here
1
we go.
second.
That's all it is, man. It's one big digression.
Anything that Mac says, he'll agree with, and if Mac digresses, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
he's such a puss.
Yeah,
he is such a puss." Anyway, back to the Love Boat. Sorry, that's all I got.
Nah, that was good.
That was great. So anyway, Artie Johnson and Pat Morita come out, and
there's jokes of it. Doc says this is just yellow.
Oh right,
and then we get an out of control paint cart.
Oh, this is all. I forgot all this.
Yeah, that's also an elevator scene.
I'm watching right now.
And
it's so obnoxious. There's no way that much paint hit him. It was just so funny.
Poor Isaac.
And he says, "I need a second coat." That was great.
That line was good. A second coat. I enjoyed that.
And that, I believe, I could be wrong, that might have been Isaac's only line the entire episode.
I think that was. Yeah.
No?
You might have seen him one other time.
Yeah, I think he poured somebody a drink.
Okay.
Here, I thought there was a Moist Boys concert going on here because that looked like
moist paint. I didn't even notice that. Moist paint? Who puts a moist paint?
Like, why is it not wet paint, right?
Yeah. Who says moist?
Because it's not really wet. It's just moist.
And
now,
who thinks the DEP is the Department of Captain?
Well, no, they said Captain Depth.
Wasn't it that? Yeah, he
Depth.
says it. I thought they said Captain of Departments.
No, he said. I think he calls him Captain Depth. Like that's his name.
No, that's Deputy Captain.
Who is the Deputy Captain, by the way? This person we've never seen.
We don't see. Yeah,
it's somebody
takes down the sign. Yeah, Department of Captain.
They painted the wrong room because they painted Captain Depth's room instead of Captain Meryl Stubing's room.
And then we get Gopher was basically like, why was he like being greedy for like extra tip here,
and
right?
Did we ever see why Gopher had to take him his bag to his room? There was no setup to this, right? All of a sudden,
No,
Gopher
all of a
was
sudden Gopher was
Gopher
just-
You know
was
what the
taken to
setup
the
was
room.
here? You know what the setup was here? The bathroom door being locked.
Well,
That
I
was
know
the
where we're
setup here.
going, but it's just weird that Gopher had to bring him to his room.
But it's funny too because like Gopher didn't realize it was locked, and he's like because he put his
Goes,
hand
"No."
on the door.
Well, he was gonna
Don't
actually. Oh,
touch
and here's
that.
your bathroom. He was gonna say, "Here's your
He gave him
bathroom."
a
and he
quarter.
didn't. I think he gave him $1.
Oh, okay, it was $1. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
He
But it's
said he said buy some nice cigars or cheap
it was cheap cigar, yeah,
cigars or
a cup of coffee. Yep.
Cup of coffee or something.
And it was
yeah.
really he opened up the suitcase. It was like really dramatic.
yes,
Into
Yeah,
the
but
I
dawn.
really
you know what?
thought
I was waiting for like
a
like
reveal, right?
drugs
I thought that
or a
I was like,
midget,
no ways to
or
stow
like
away
a
in his
midget in there or
suitcase.
something.
I really thought when they come back to the scene and he's closing it. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
what's
weird.
in the bag? It's like
It was like
Marcellus
Pulp Fiction.
Marcellus Wallace's briefcase. Like, what's in there? I need to know. And they never ever show what's in there. There's
I
nothing
was
in there.
hoping
It
it was
didn't
going to
matter.
be drugs or a midget.
I would have thought it was. I actually thought it was going to be like a ventriloquist
yeah, like
dummy. I was like, is he like going to go?
I hope we
walking
get
around
an
like,
episode with a dummy in it at
I
some
really
point
kind of
this
thought
year.
that's where they were going.
You mean
but
like a la Cliff Robertson from Twilight Zone?
Yes.
yes, wow, Cliff Robertson, nice.
Good pull.
Thank you.
The original Uncle
Thank you.
Ben.
We get a bon voyage scene here with we see Potsie, and then we see Tom Post, and he's got his arm around that lady, and she like she like gets away from him.
But he like motions to, I don't know, someone on the land going like, look what I got here next to me. He's kind of like, hey, okay, and I'm
He
like,
was
I was like, who is he motioning to? They are 10, 15 decks up, which no person on the ground can see
He
what's
did.
happening.
I want to
there.
say there might even have been a wink when he did the point. Like
It was a whole thing. So now Mark Twain closes his bag.
and he's got his, I guess, his shaving.
And then he goes to the bathroom door.
funny, it's closed.
It's
locked.
and his
Why is this
chambermaid
locked?
pops out. She's just like, I'm your
And then-
chambermaid.
Yeah, she says she's almost 26 in this part.
Now, Anthony, you haven't been on all these podcasts, but this is
Yeah.
episode 12, right?
13
Yeah.
if
This,
you count the pilot.
but including
yeah.
the pilot,
Episode
this
12.
is 13. So episode 12 plus the pilot. This is our
It's got to be fourth,
fourth stowaway.
right? Yeah.
John Ritter, Charo.
John Ritter was a stowaway.
Yeah.
John Ritter was
Well,
a
he wasn't
stowaway, and he
technically
dressed as a
stowaway.
female.
He-
Charo.
He dressed up
Charo
as
was
a
a
female.
stowaway.
Circa 1977, Charo could have been my stowaway all day long.
What?
The pilot.
Yeah,
Georgia-
Georgia. The one I was calling,
Georgia Engel was Gopher's.
the one that I was calling Carol Channing, which is why we got in the whole Carol
Yeah.
Channing to begin with. Yes. So
and,
the
and you were
four-
like, pilot counts.
so 4 stowaways in 13 episodes. You would think they'd have better security. And you
Yeah.
know who else was?
Exactly.
We've talked about security a lot
Well, you know
on
what,
here
though?
as
This
well.
is the 1970s.
I
though.
know
You
it's
know,
pre 9/11,
you know,
but still,
The security is crazy because they make announcements like everybody get off the boat if you're not.
We'll be debarking in 10 minutes. Please get off the boat if you're not a passenger.
You know-
I forgot there was also the stowaway of the pregnant dog.
right.
that
was a vicious dog too.
Yeah, and it had Radar O'Reilly trapped in the bathroom. Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Radar.
you have to listen to all our
I love
episodes,
Radar.
Anthony.
Well, that one hasn't released yet, right?
No, it has
Yeah.
not. That's a little
It's
later
coming
on.
up soon. So we
So
find out
anyway, for 5 minutes,
you wanted to talk about the band here.
the band.
Yeah, because she mentions
the band.
He mentions
Oh
that
yeah.
he
yeah.
mentions that she's a
Yeah,
groupie
what is
for
the band?
for a band.
Which band was it?
Damn it!
It was
I have
1978.
it right here.
I
Do you want me to give you the song?
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
There it is,
Yeah, okay,
yep.
yeah. I was like, I got to remember the name of that band.
Wait, how did you wait? Did he say that in the
he
episode?
says
He
that
says
to
it in the
her.
episode,
He's
yeah.
like, don't be dressed like someone going to see a nitty gritty
Like
dirt
he
band.
calls her
concert or
he
something
calls her a
like that.
groupie.
A groupie, right?
Yeah, and then
I missed that.
the song they're pretty famous for. I guess their famous hit was Mr. Bojangles.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was
Dance.
them.
Dance.
Like the original
Dance.
version of that, or
They didn't write
covered
it?
or
Somebody else wrote it. I didn't look to see if it was
Hmm.
yeah, but that was like the bigger.
anyway.
most.
This girl is 16 years old. She kind of looks like she's 16 years old. She looks like she's an underage girl.
She's very
with this-
short, petite.
Yeah,
Yep.
with this creepy
With a
old
75-year-old
man. And listen,
old
to his
guy
credit,
who just lost his wife.
to his credit, he actually does nothing creepy in this entire episode, but it just looks
No.
bad
Yeah.
the whole
It looks
time.
creepy.
I like-
and the whole connotation is creepy.
It's
Yes.
very weird that they are allowing this to happen, where it's just this old man with this young,
again-
underage
But
girl.
again, it's the 70s.
Ah,
70,
listen, but pedophilia was
The
a
only
thing
thing
back then
the
too.
only thing
And
they cared about back then was like oil embargoes and planes being
We
took
will.
over
That
by
will be coming
terrorists.
up. I have it.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna say because she references
Yeah,
oil, not oil embargo so much. but-
Grandpa here says he just wants the truth or a good first class lie. I
Yeah,
thought that one
was a good.
funny.
That was a good one.
Um,
So it turns out what she's an
She says
orphan
she's
and she's
na-
on her
she
fifth or
mentions her-
sixth foster
she's Nancy
family.
Brown. She's left her home. Her parents are have died. She said. So at first I was thinking, is she maybe she's
you know what?
joking.
That made
about
me just think about the little kid that Sandy Duncan wanted to adopt. This is not the first underage child that's been on this boat trying to find
And
a
he
new
remember, but
family.
he came on and paid. With
He
his,
paid.
paper,
That's right. He wasn't a
his
stowaway.
paper,
He wasn't
his
a
paper
stowaway.
route
He
money.
paid.
Yeah.
But again,
So wait, I didn't see that.
yeah, some
So
kid.
that's-
Sandy Duncan was a recently. It was a really knee
Was there a
slapper.
glass eye?
A knee,
Hey,
yeah.
speaking of
Glass
no,
eye.
speaking of
How was
that,
the glass eye in that episode?
Sandy Duncan does not have a glass
No,
eye.
it's
We
a-
learned that in that episode.
Ah,
It's
Yeah.
not a glass eye. It's just a dead nerve, so she can't see out
Dead
of it,
nerve?
but it works.
you
But
mean
yeah,
like a la Sammy Davis Jr.?
Well, I think he had
Or like
actual
Radar's
glass eye.
arm.
I thought he had a lazy eye.
But in that Sandy Duncan episode,
Sammy
she
Davis
was,
is a glass
it was
eye.
it was a knee slapper of an episode. Her 6-year-old child had just died,
He slapped her.
and so she was
Oh.
depressed the entire time.
Yeah, that
wait, back up. You just said, wait.
Yes, I said that.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Wait, it was a knee slapper and
Well,
what?
you know,
Her 6
being
or like
sarcastic.
8-year-old kid had died, and she
And
was
this
just in
little
a-
And
kid
that-
was like,
wait,
her and her
so
husband
which
were
was
trying
the knee
to-
slapper?
there's
her and her
no
husband on
slapping
the
to
cruise after their kid died. That's neat.
Go listen to that episode. Get caught up.
You're terrible. You are terrible.
Oh,
I'm
we're not going to argue that.
No.
But I love you anyway.
So
Yeah, she says
Old
she's on
man
her
and
5th
the-
set of parents. You mentioned that, right, Andy? We also find out that the boat has already left.
oh right, he's like, I'm
for-
gonna
Do
escort
you know where
you.
they're going first?
They are going to Acapulco.
Yes.
Okay.
Where the
Acapulco.
humidity you can drink and the tap water you can't.
That is a good line. I like it. I like it.
That was a great line. I love
Grandpa had some really good lines throughout this whole episode.
that.
I
Grandpa
thought.
Walton,
Yeah.
man.
She says she met Randy at a concert. They stood in line for
Oh,
2 days.
was that the Nitty Gritty
Yep.
Dirt Band? The
She
concert?
didn't say if
Nitty-Gritty
that
Band?
was the band or not,
Oh.
but she said this was after that. And then he mentioned that he was married for 45 years to Evelyn, and the boat has pulled out of San Pedro. And we already mentioned how she's from the electric company. But right here, it's just like Grandpa, you kind of see him starting to have like a little trust in her, I
A
guess.
parental responsibility towards her.
This is where he's trying to
Yeah.
kick her out here, but she's...
Have we even paused this yet? Has this scene been going on for 20 minutes?
Yeah, we paused a little bit,
Oh,
but
did
we're
we?
12 minutes into the episode.
It just
which
seems
is
like
pretty
this
good.
scene's going on forever.
It is a long scene. I think we jumped ahead.
12
We
minutes.
didn't like her because she did a lot more talking about like,
Oh, now she
like
tells them
fake-
that they're out.
like
they've
fake
already,
stories she was
they're already
giving.
out at sea.
and he had to run over and look out like,
water.
ahoy!
Water.
There's another shot of the boat.
I'd like to know what this guy was doing on the cruise ship anyway. I know he was complaining before about, I'm not
Grandpa?
gonna, I'm not going to shuffleboard. I'm not going to
Was he just maybe there to like,
go in the pool.
his wife died recently. He was just getting
I don't know.
away.
Can he
to
just-
ma-
can he just,
It-
like-
He definitely wasn't looking.
He was
for
going
any-
to find himself.
Go to Venice Beach. And
He
put his
definitely
feet
wasn't
in the
looking for
sand,
one
I
of
guess,
those.
to get on
What
a
did I
cruise
say?
ship.
Sun City Swinger. What was it?
Sun City Swinger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't want any Sun City Swingers.
You don't want to go to Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
Africa.
I remember Little Steven's song about that.
Don't play Sun
City.
City, man. Never play Sun City.
So now we get
At
to
least
Tom
back then.
Poston and Anson, or sorry, Potsie.
Yep, and they're
Tom
getting
Poston.
ready. They're putting their ties on.
I wish I could remember Tom Poston's name from Newhart because I call him that if I.
I don't know, but you
It's
know what
probably
though?
like
I
George or
love
something like
I
that.
love the silverish tie.
Yeah,
And
well,
the white-
70s.
That
And
was
the white
that was
vest.
definitely. I like that look too. I agree with you.
Oh, it was a great look.
So Tom
I wore
Poston
that at
is,
my wedding.
he's all about the ladies, and he's taking his heart medication because he's
George Utley.
Oh, is it George? I did say George. Okay, good. So he was taking his heart medication because he's got a bad doctor because he said he's got a bad heart. How dare a doctor tell someone so young that he's got a bad heart? That's why he's a bad doctor.
He said he had a heart condition, and he was taking those pills. They're so big they could choke Seattle Slew.
Seattle Slew.
Which was a
Seattle
nice,
I hope they weren't
nice
a
horse racing.
suppository.
Yeah. This was
Seattle
really aw-
Slew, who might have just won the
I think that
Triple
was around
Crown
that
the
time,
year
77?
before, 76,
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, so it was right around that time.
Grandpa's really weird about the whole stowaway thing. He's like outright just asking Gopher, like, "What do you
He's
do with
asking all
stowaways?"
kinds
You
of
know?
weird questions.
And then he,
And then he'd say, "Oh no, but that's my granddaughter." Like,
yeah,
never-
and he wanted to get her a cabin, her own cabin. So right there, he's showing he didn't want a room with her. So that takes away some of his creepiness right there. Because he wanted her to get her own cabin, but then when she said she'd have to room with you, and he was like, "Oh, he goes, yeah."
he goes, okay.
And they never found her body again. So,
and this then turned into a lifetime movie. Will then be made a few years later.
So he's just like, I guess I'll pay for her stay, right? Isn't that what comes out of this?
Next, we get the grandpa eating with what are we calling her, Nancy?
Is that her name?
Yeah. And she's hiding as the Captain Stubing walks by, like
because he's on stowaway watch. Because when you have shitty security,
like, wait a minute, I don't
watch.
remember seeing her come on shit. I'm working on my Captain Stubing. That wasn't good.
It's better than Gophers.
Nobody can beat Gophers.
Okay. Side note.
Side note.
I had forgotten how stupid they made Gopher.
Well, he's like the comic. He's the comic relief. He's the.
I'm watching this. I'm going. Christ almighty! This guy's a senator.
He was.
This guy's a senator now.
I don't think Gopher was the
senator. Was he the Urkel of the '70s? Wasn't that bad? I guess, right?
Okay, wait. He was worse than Urkel, man.
He was the Bud Bundy.
Every show always needs that like punching bag kind of dummy. That I mean, he's no.
But sometimes I think Julie takes a lot of punching bag moments.
But let me tell you something. This episode, we're not there yet.
Sentence.
Julie,
punching bag moments.
Julie couldn't have been more obvious that she was waving Aunt
Julie
Louise
was
around
ready
third.
to go.
She was like, "It is."
You know what? There was a minute. I would have nailed Julie.
Well, listen, she's hot and she's young.
What do you mean a moment? I mean, all through this.
Well, come on.
I love Julie.
2021. That was 1977. I mean,
true.
Just saying. I was 7 years old when this came out.
I'm not saying when you were 7 watching this, you wanted to nail her, but when you were rewatching this episode today,
when he was
podcast,
7, he was into Nancy.
Oh, well,
that would be more
that would be not as disgusting.
Yeah.
Although in 2 years she'd be 18 and he'd only be 9, and then it
she's
would be
15, about to be 6. Yeah, so yeah. She is 15, going on 16.
I'm 16.
There's a really good. There's a really good album out there, playlist, I guess you'll say, about all the like underage songs. Like she's only 17, and she was just 17.
Wait, Winger.
Yeah.
Wait, Winger.
And she was just 17 and 16.
I can't think of his name right now.
There's a lot of songs out there that they basically brag about the.
Christine 16. Did you say that one by Kiss?
I did not say that, but that's a good one. And Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Christine,
that's like
wait. Christine 16?
Yeah.
So
and then Ringo has a 16. You're 16. You're beautiful. And
maybe
you're
in
mine.
England it's not as bad a thing, even though Kiss
age of consent or whatever was 2.
That's why their baby teeth are still while their baby teeth are still in before they get their gross British adult teeth. Is that maybe why?
If they can keep their heads up.
God. Oof.
That was good, though. That was good.
That was good.
That stays.
So Grandpa here, he ends up telling
Nancy
that first he's talking about the funeral.
His wife's funeral?
And
Evelyn?
First he wanted to get deep fried clams, a bowl of chowder, and he was torn between the lobster Newsberg and the
Newberg.
Newberg, excuse me, and the seafood au gratin.
I like the lobster Zoidberg better, but
Zoidberg. I like the lobster Zoidberg. That's great.
Yeah, so he said seafood's healthy. She complains. He said seafood's healthy, but none of this stuff he just ordered.
But when he
healthy.
said that, you know what he said? He said, "Have you ever seen an unhealthy shark?"
That's right. Hey, it's true.
Nah, I saw that. That was great.
And then she suggested like a spinach salad with alfalfa, kale,
sprouts, and all that
watercress. It's just
which
so
is fine.
You knew that far back in 1977 that California was all fucked up
because they're promoting healthy eating.
Yeah, they're promoting all that bullshit back then.
Listen, healthy eating is no fun, especially on a cruise ship. You're on there to eat like a pig and drink and smoke and do whatever else.
Exactly.
So excuse me.
Captain's Speaking of smoking, Jason's having an episode.
Captain's talking to Grandpa and telling him that they don't use the cat o' nine tails anymore. But
I remember.
Oh, for stowaways, right?
Yeah,
they
made him walk the plank.
Yeah. Which I wonder if the Love Boat has a plank. Well, it has a gangway.
Do
Yeah,
all
did they
boats
have
have
a
a plank?
I don't
Did it have to
know.
be like a certain size boat has to have a plank?
Planks
But wait,
were
you know what?
Planks were used to
Later
get
in
off
the
the ship
episode,
when you.
they talk.
No, go on. You, Ant.
Later
Go.
in the episode, they talk about a yardarm. Do
They
they have
do.
a yardarm
They do.
too?
He says the yard because he's going to hang the painters from that. That's right. Yeah, but
You see, I did my homework.
you did.
Nice.
But the
and
gangway is the.
that's what this podcast is all about. Taking notes. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, but
taking
you know
those.
what? You know what? Andy remembers from high school where I didn't do shit, and I barely graduated.
He's
I didn't do
literate, though.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm barely literate.
Oh, I'd like to say
Barely.
I'm barely literate too.
So it ends up Grandpa tells her that he's paying for her cabin to stay with it.
Right.
And she gets really happy. She gives him a hug.
And that's where it gets creepy.
And he's like, and you're going to earn this.
But-
you're earn this room.
You're gonna stay in
and
that
to
room
thank
with
to
me.
thank him, she orders a little bit of unhealthy food, and they smile
Yep.
and they sit down separately in separate seats.
In separate seats. So now we got Potsie and Julie having
And
dinner, and
She mentions she doesn't have braces. She's no more metal mouth. She's not a kid anymore.
and knowing what Potsie is in this episode, you would think that might come up on this. This is like a getting to know you dinner. Hey,
Here's
we haven't
Isaac.
seen
He,
each-
he called
Oh.
Julie over for the
so
phone.
Isaac
That's one
had
of
a
his
second.
lines.
He said,
said,
Julie, which could have been cut from any other episode. So you would think Potsie would tell her, hey,
Tom.
last time I saw you, I wasn't a priest, but guess what I am now? I'm
You
a
know what?
priest.
I'm a man. I'm a man of
He
the
doesn't have time to
cloth
get
now,
out because
so-
Tom Poston here is telling Potsie where the most romantic spot is on the ship, and that
and
is
there he is.
the
Yep.
Riviera deck overlooking the fantail.
The fantail. And as your roommate, you would think you would say, like, hey, buddy,
Come back to the room.
I'm
I
a
understand,
priest. I don't care about this. This is not like what I'm all
There's a little
about.
more Isaac.
But not talking, just kind of like backgroundy.
So Julie comes back from her very important phone call,
Do we know what it was? I don't even remember what the phone
and
call was.
no, she doesn't really mention it.
I don't think they ever talk about it.
She's trying to go out back to her room or out on the deck somewhere, and Potsie makes a suggestion
And you know what?
to go
That's,
play bridge.
that's the second time you see Isaac in that episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she's hanging up the phone.
And so Potsie suggests to go play bridge, and Julie's like, "What the H, man?"
Does she like? That's what they said. Bridge.
Yeah,
I didn't
they
pick
wanted.
up
To,
on
he
that.
said
Bridge.
they wanted to go to the card room to play bridge. If I'm going to the card room, I'm playing poker,
Yeah,
son.
or at least blackjack. I'm not going to the card room anyway. I'm going to go to the casino. Do they ever have casino shots in this?
Is poker back up at the casino? Because I'd love to get down there if you want to.
Remember they had the casino shot where the episode where the couple didn't know the other was on board.
Yes. And every
Yes.
time they walked, the one
Yes,
walked
yes,
away.
yes.
That was Robert Urich.
That's
Remember?
right. Yes.
He lost all that money.
Yeah,
Julie was
pirate.
holding the change. She comes over with 1/4.
wins. That's how it always is.
And
That's
Doc,
yeah, because
but Doc won at 50%.
casinos are such a big part of cruise ships and in general. You would think that they'd have, instead of an elevator scene, I wish they had a casino scene every episode.
I would trade an elevator scene for a casino scene. Definitely.
They have a lot of walk and talk episodes on this. It's usually down just like a random hallway, a walk and talk through the casino.
yeah.
That's what they should have done.
You can see the pit bosses.
But maybe they couldn't afford the set. I mean, these are sets, so maybe they couldn't afford a casino set. That would have been
It'd be perfect to get some guest stars in that way as like pit bosses, dealers,
Oh
stuff
wow!
like that.
There you go.
I
There
think
you
that
go.
this is for our Love Boat movie.
I'm
or,
Charles
series,
Bronson,
which-
and I'm your blackjack dealer tonight.
We're
I
trying
don't know
to-
if that's a good Charles Bronson or not.
Charles Bronson
No, there's a
actually
Charles-
comes up
no,
in this
there's-
episode.
There's
Yeah,
Charles Bronson reference in this
Yeah.
episode.
That's why I said Charles Bronson.
Clark
Charlie.
Gable.
I think it was
Oh,
Charlie.
it was
Charlie Bronson,
Charlie
yeah.
Bronson. Yeah, Charlie Bronson.
Charlie Bronson.
So Grandpa's making a blanket wall,
Like
or
a divider.
curtain?
He's making a
Curtain,
He's
curtain,
making a
curtain.
fort.
He's
Fort.
making a
That's a
fort.
good. That's it. It's a fort. I
And
like
she's
that.
wearing
It's a fort.
and she's wearing
It's
a
a
keep
blue-
on trucking shirt, right?
Yeah, and
I
her
know.
other shirt was
I know, right?
Breakfast of Champions.
Yeah, that's
And what
dirty.
is she wearing
said?
under that?
Listen, she's.
I mean,
underage. We're not gonna talk
she's
about
got
that.
her. She's got like. her
We're not
little-
going to talk about that.
she's got
She's
shorts
underage.
on.
When Julie's back on, we'll talk about what's under Julie's dress, but we're not going to talk about what's under this little girl's keep on trucking shirt.
Thank you for keeping it real, Andy.
Why do you see something?
No, Anthony's being gross.
So is Brian.
Oh, I'm being okay. I'm being gross. Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Brian's always gross.
But she's not really
Sorry.
16.
She might be.
She's really
was
not.
born in
No, she's really
58,
not.
right?
16.
58. So what she almost?
Yeah,
she's
and
like
it's 77.
19.
So
she's like 19.
do the math. Wait,
she's
I'm gonna
she's 19.
wait.
I know.
I got a calculator. I'm doing
This
the math.
is
I have to take my shoes off. It's over 10. I gotta.
right here is where he said if Charlie Bronson were tough, he'd be Clark Gable. And Clark Gable died in 1960 from coronary thrombosis.
Oh,
I used to play
Gone
the
with the Wind, Mutiny on a
I
Bounty.
played the thrombosis in high school, but you know what's funny? They said Clark Gable. They said Clark Gable. And I'm like, which one's he again? Because I get those guys.
Yeah.
Like I get Clark Gable and Humphrey Bogart and all. And
Yeah.
all those. Yeah,
he was red.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
They
he's
all
the-
wore their pants up above their belly button, though.
But all those guys that died before we were born, I get mixed up. I don't have any frame of reference to any of them. So I had to look them up. I'm like,
Dude,
who's Clark Gable again? I'm like, oh
if you
yeah,
ever mix
Gone with
up,
the
if
Wind.
you ever mix up Bogart,
Nah, I know Bogart.
mixing-
Like I've
Come
seen
on.
Casablanca, so I'm not mixing him up.
but if you ever
like,
mix up Bogart and Gable, I'm gonna fly to New Jersey. I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts.
is Bogart
Come on
part of
now.
the club?
Grandpa got a little aggressive here. He said, if you're a snorer, I'm going to snuff you out the porthole.
Snuff you out?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
stuff you out.
No,
it was
stuff.
snuff you
It
out.
was
Stuff you
snuff,
out.
right?
No, it was stuff.
I thought
It was stuff.
I wrote snuff, and I usually have the closed captioning on. I
I
apologize.
think it's stuff.
I wonder if that's something the closed caption got wrong.
If
Wait, you know what?
They've been wrong before.
That's possible. Yeah,
I'm
well-
looking now.
please do. Yeah, we could go to the corrections department here.
Burrito, no zest. Well, why?
Yeah, there was some
morbid,
burrito talk.
True confessions.
Burrito.
You know,
That's
let's
like
go to bed.
the dinner, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you snore, I'll stuff you out the porthole.
Okay,
That's
my
what he
bad.
said.
My bad. I'll
stuff
fix
you
my
out the
notes.
porthole.
I'll fix my notes right now.
For
Hey, you know what, though?
all the
You know what,
archivists
though?
that want to
This
like.
might be
that
worth.
could
This is
be-
going to be in the Smithsonian.
That could be misconstrued, though.
Here is-
stuff you out the porthole. I'll stuff you in your porthole.
I'll stuff you. What? What? They'll have the captain's hat in the Smithsonian in the Jason
I am going.
notebook
I am
of the
going
Love
straight
Boat
to hell.
podcast. Yes, you are, Anthony.
Like here, notice the correction and
You know what, though?
that they
You know what,
spoke
though? I'm
about on
Protestant, so
episode
it's okay.
13.
It was a golden age of podcasting. They talked about a '70s show in 2021.
And then that's when the aliens invaded.
if the aliens
The
came now-
dinosaurs took over.
if the aliens came
Wait.
now, wouldn't everybody be very happy if they just came and
yeah.
said, "We're wiping you all out"?
It would be a fun.
Wait.
It would be fun because you'd be like, "Are we going out this way? This is going to be a fun way to go out."
I
you
didn't
know?
think this was how we were going out, and
Yeah.
this is how we're going out.
Wait, wasn't this around the time of Close Encounters?
Yeah,
And this is
78,
around that
I guess,
time,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
78. I think you're correct.
See?
I don't know what that has to do
That's
with
saying.
anything.
It all happens where we say something and it
That
always
means
ties
nothing.
back. We
That
always
means
tie it
nothing.
back to the Love Boat somehow, and that's what we did there.
We actually get off
Everything
track
ties
from the
back
Love
to the
Boat. We
Love
talk
Boat.
about anything else but. We talk about anything else but the Love Boat.
This was
now,
weird.
listen, what is going on
I don't
here?
get. Is this as a filler scene? Like we
But
did?
this is not the only scene where this happens. So Gopher says he's sending his mom a letter, a message in a bottle.
Yeah, and he said it took so long. It was
18 months.
18
yeah,
months.
but
He said I
one is-
mailed
like,
it.
But
Police
this
on?
is not the only scene where Gopher throws something over the rail. What's happening here?
I don't
was
get
really
it.
expecting.
I thought they didn't tie that to
They
anything.
never tied
Yeah.
it. Just like the old man's, just like
like
Grandpa
Lost.
Grandpa Walton's bag that we thought was like
What?
Grandpa Walton's bag was going to have
Grandpa's
the
all of a
diamonds.
sudden he's amazing at shuffleboard.
Well, he's an old man.
He didn't want to play at all, and he just went, "Get out of here, kid."
Have you ever met an old person that doesn't know how to play shuffleboard? It's like in
well,
the
I don't know
DNA.
if everybody that's old is going to get a 10 and then
You hit
then hip
65.
check,
You hit 65. All of a sudden, your shuffleboard jeans pop out. You're
bowl
like,
of 300.
I know
you're
how
like,
to play like bar
I can't
shuffleboard.
control my bladder anymore, but goddamn, I
I
can
bowled
play
a 300.
shuffleboard. I can shuffle with the best.
I could shuffle a board with the best of them.
So now we go back to Captain Stubing's room, and,
And he notices that they didn't paint anything yet.
Well, they're preparing. They said we're done. We're done preparing.
It took them 2 days to finish the mix that they were preparing. And then the mix ended up being wrong.
Yes, they did 3 pinches of something instead of 2 pinches
I
of
think it was something
something.
with a fission.
I don't even
Fission or
remember.
something like
They
that.
said, what was it, Brian? You know.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, that's right. You saw this one not recently,
Months
right?
ago.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was a they started arguing, Artie and
I told
Mr.
you
Miyagi.
3 blah blah blahs. No, you
And,
told me 2 blah blah blahs.
Artie paints a war face on Miyagi and calls him Kimosabi.
He does call him Kimosabi.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming.
that was kind of oof. Well, first of all,
Well, he flicked it at him.
Miyagi's not a
Miyagi flicked
Native
it at him.
American anyway, so Kimosabe would be kind of a
Wait, is that
reference
like
to the Lone
is it
Ranger.
is it like cross racism?
It's mixed racism.
A Japanese guy and a Native American.
It's mixed
slur.
race. It's mixed racism. He's referencing a Native American to
He
a
flicked
Japanese
the paint
guy.
at him though first, so
Yeah.
Miyagi did start it.
Has anybody actually figured out the fact that Pat Morita's hair
It's
is
so
all of
dark.
a sudden it's so dark, and when he was on Happy Days, there was like bits of gray.
Yeah, this is only 2 years
you
after
know.
Happy
Yeah,
Days.
well, he's
so.
Right?
he's angling for a movie role probably. Maybe he's
I mean,
interviewing for.
something coming up in the
He had
80s.
he had the Pauly walnuts on the side like I do.
I was gonna say, I noticed you have the Pauly walnuts going there.
I got the Pauly walnuts
Yeah.
right here. See?
Our special guest Tony Sirocco.
I got the Pauly. Hey, I'm a Dago of the First Order. Come on.
Your wings, yeah, and we can leave that in because he's actually
He's allowed to. Yeah, it's self-deprecating, right?
Yes, racism towards your own kind is okay.
Yes.
We allow that's allowed here on
I
the
am-
exciting and new
I'm all about.
podcast.
I mean, come on. I've always been about ending those as self-deprecation. Always
I'm a fan as
makes
well.
you feel better.
I celebrate it.
I've been a fan of self-defecation for a long time, and it's just not.
Self-deprecation.
Since we have a lot more.
Michelle's
Like,
really starting to get pissed off about that.
pissed off, pun intended there. No.
No,
It
she has to
depends
do my laundry.
on who you're defecating on or where you're defecating.
Here we get.
Anywho.
What's this one
Oh, the
here?
yoga.
Oh, the painters
The
aren't
yoga.
finished today. Stubing says he's going to throw him out at the first port.
At the porthole, yeah.
Yeah, and Julie gets hit with a paintbrush.
Oh,
when
right.
she opens
Because
the
they're
door.
mid-paint fight 30 seconds ago, so of course Pat Morita took 30 seconds to wind up.
And they moved all the way over there from the other side of the cabin there.
All right, so Nancy's teaching Grandpa Walton how to do yoga.
Yoga.
And he says something about like if I bent like this, I need a crane to get picked up or something like that. Or
Good for him. 4 months from now, he's passing
Look at
away.
him,
He's
look at
in
him.
great shape.
Look at him.
He rolls
He's-
around.
and he's 75 here, so he's 25
pulling his
years.
legs in and
25 years older than me. I can't do that.
I can't
couldn't
do that right
be-
now, no.
If I got down in that position, they would need a crane to get me out of there. I'd be like, no, I can't get up. Sorry.
That's what they were doing there, right?
Oh yeah, and when he did Om, I was like, it almost sounds like they're saying "Home on the Range," and then he starts saying
And he
"Home on
goes-
the
he goes into Home on the
Range."
Range.
I thought that was so. I was like, oh, it does
I
sound
was like,
like
did
that.
you write this
There it
episode?
is.
There they go. Whoa. Then see, it didn't get creepy. It just gets we get
He just
Potsie
grabbed
coming back
her.
from a run.
But it's never creepy. But it just feels creepy.
Well, they're
But you know
rolling
what, though?
around on the
It-
ground together.
It.
Get it out. Get it out.
We're waiting for it. We want this,
It
so this
just-
is going to be good.
It teeters. It teeters.
If he was her real grandfather, if he was the real grandfather, you would never think anything of it.
No,
I agree with you,
But,
Andy.
but being as that it's not the real grandfather, you're like, something's not right here.
yeah,
Grandpa Walton's a perv. That's all I'm going to say.
listen, he was married
I'm
for
stamping it.
45 years to Evelyn.
But you don't know what was going on down in the basement.
Is that why he's on the boat? He's trying to get away from things?
He's trying to escape all the evilness that he did.
Escape the Pina Colada song? Great reference, right?
And what's his face over there in Pennsylvania, the Penn State guy? He was having kids down in his basement all the time, and the wife knew nothing
Oh,
about it.
Sandusky.
Sandusky, yeah.
Yeah.
It was happening all the time, right under her nose. So
And Joe,
Evelyn might not
Joe
have known.
Pa knew.
Joe Pa knew. Oh, for sure. But Evelyn might not have known that Grandpa Walton was having little girls down in his basement.
Maybe that's why Evelyn's no longer with us.
This poor guy, man. We're shitting all over his legacy. This is the last thing he ever did. And now he's a pedophile, even though he's doing a great thing.
Grandpa.
Take it back. Take it all back.
I take it
Good
all
night,
back.
John Boy.
I mean, this guy's nothing but a gentleman, but
He
it
is.
looks,
I
the
mean,
optics are bad.
it looks bad at times, but like you said, it doesn't get to a creepiness level, to me at least. I don't think it's...
If this was 2021, I'd be like, if I was the old man, I'd be like, Julie, you got to be around at all times.
Yeah.
I can't be left with this underage girl because who knows what's going to happen. Not that I'm going to do anything, not that she's going to do anything, but
People are going to assume. And when
It
you
looks
assume,
bad.
you make an ass out of you and me, Brian.
yeah, you're right. Always.
Yeah.
Always making an ass. All right, so
So
Julie is now,
yeah, Potsie just came back from a run.
and Julie is waving him around. She is like, let's go back to my room and
she said, I got a little bit more exercise for you.
Yeah. She's like, let's go back to my room. I can show you all sorts of things. and he still is like,
She
hey,
says, "Come back." She
You
basically
see?
comes right out and says, "Come back to my cabin and look at some pictures."
and I'll show you my panties.
He
We
says,
can
it's
talk
a-
about what's under her clothes.
He, say,
She's an
he says
adult.
it's a shame to waste weather inside the being inside the
So
cabin.
I got to be honest. Up till this point, and we are how far in? Damn, I hit that thing too hard.
We're about
26
30
minutes,
minutes
in.
in.
I thought he was gay. I thought at this point I thought the angle was that he
I was starting
gay.
to think. I thought that as well.
And
Yeah,
You know
was-
what though? It was the 70s. It was the 70s though. They would not have done. A
That's
gay
what made me-
That's why I kind of thought
That's
they
why
were
I
like
pulled
they're
it back
never going to
then,
actually
too.
say that he's gay, but they're just going to.
No.
or he was going to come out.
But I really thought that that's where they were
Sorry.
going with this. At this point, I was like, oh, he's gay, and he doesn't want to admit it to her. Or,
I thought he might have been engaged, possibly to somebody. That's what.
Oh,
because-
no, I
because
never
thought it was.
got
I
that.
thought because of the
That's what I
70s, we
thought,
weren't going to
actually.
get that kind of episode.
because even if he was engaged, Julie's thrown it at him. There's got to be a reason why he doesn't want it, and it's actually much more difficult.
Julie was super
Like if he,
aggressive.
Like if he was gay,
super.
if he was gay, he wouldn't be into her, and then it wouldn't be that tough for him to say no. But he's a priest. I think it's harder for him to say no.
Well, spoiler alert: he's a priest.
Oh, right. Sorry. If you haven't watched the episode yet, sorry. If you're listening to this podcast
Dude, if
without
she-
having watched the
If she
episode,
threw it at me like that, I would spin around like a top.
I would have already been done. I mean, come on.
yeah.
uh,
So anyway,
Julie really, really wants to hook up. I mean,
she
and
doesn't really want to
but-
hook up. She
But remember,
really-
she's about
really
to
wants
say
to
it here, and she ends up saying,
let's go jogging."
We should.
Let's go for a
jogging."
jog.
Yeah.
She wanted to say,
Julie.
"Let's go fuck," and instead she said, "Let's go."
And
jog.
do you think if she comes right out and says that there, he has to say, "Well, I'm a priest," then, right?
But he should have said that anyway. He should pick up on the vibes that she's.
This is one of those things. Again, all it takes is stop the show right here now. 30 seconds. Now talk to each other. Okay.
This is
Here
a
you
three.
go.
This is the infamous Three's Company plot here, where people just would like talk instead of not talk.
Hey, did you hear who won the dance contest?
What?
Did you hear who?
Oh,
won the
they
dance
won. They
contest?
won the dance.
Yeah.
Grandpa
They won the
and,
dance
and,
contest.
and, and
Couldn't
Nancy
believe
won.
it when Julie said, "Hey, it was you
And she
guys."
said, "Where did you learn to do the? I don't know,
Oh, I got it right here.
jitterbug, the blah blah blah
She
blah."
says, Nancy says, "Where'd you learn to do the bump and the hustle?" And you know what he said he was
Jitterbug.
doing?
Did he say he was doing? He was doing the Charleston.
The Charleston, yes. And I said, "That's something Clark Gable would have done,
Oh,
probably, right?"
not Charlie Bronson. No way. Yeah.
Clark Gable came up a lot of times.
Clark Gable.
So she mentions the boy that she met at the or that she's going to be meeting in where they're going to. Was it Acapulco?
No,
right?
they're
Acapulco.
Yeah, they're going to Acapulco.
they're going to Acapulco,
yeah.
but there's
Puerto
another.
Vallarta?
There's
Puerto
another one after
Vallarta.
that, yeah.
You're right. Puerto Vallarta is next after.
Yeah.
Acapulco.
So she says the boy she's meeting is he calls him the Prince of Acne. I thought that was funny.
that was, and she's like, he doesn't even have acne.
That was good. That was funny.
And he's 19. She's almost 16. And then she says age is only in the mind. 70s talk there for you. She says, no, they're talking about getting married.
Well, in
And then,
Mexico, they might be able to get married. At
Grandpa
16.
tells her, you got to let a relationship grow. And then he said, I like this
Yeah,
one.
you got to find out all your faults and
He said-
foibles and all that.
He said, you think Randy's going to stay interested in a girl who could not bisect an isosceles triangle? I thought that was funny because he's telling her to stay in school.
You know, listen, Michelle and I have been married for 21 years now, and her inability to bisect an isosceles triangle drives me crazy. Crazy.
Why are you still married to her?
Oh, I know. Believe me. Every time I get the
Michelle,
divorce,
if you can hear this, I'm
every time I
sorry.
get the divorce papers written up, I was like, reason for
Michelle,
divorce:
Michelle, I love you.
isosceles
I'm sorry.
inability to
I'm
bisect
sorry.
an isosceles triangle. Anyway, so these two kids are still talking.
They're still
nonsense.
talking here. And then Nancy has she says something about how she has more gas than the Shah of Iran.
She's gonna get him a
The Shah of
burrito.
Iran.
She's
That-
gonna
yeah,
get
that's
him a
a good one.
burrito.
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's gonna give him
Get
more
him the
gas than the
burrito.
Shah of Iran, which is amazing.
Can we talk about the
because-
Shah of Iran
well,
for a minute? That's
yeah,
actually
a
like
year from now, we're our hostages
Yeah.
are going to
Yeah.
be captured and held for
That was like
444 days.
current events
It-
on the Love Boat.
I mean, at that
Come
point,
on now.
the Shah was our biggest ally in the world, other than like Queen Elizabeth.
Here,
and
real quick, I know you're
who's
talking
still
about that, but
alive.
here's the water scene you're talking.
Yes,
one
this
of
is
them.
it. So fake. As we all stare and just look
It's
at
just
the
like- I know, it's like everybody else.
Can we
Like,
all sit and watch it?
can we add like
Let's all
ocean
watch it
sounds
for a
there,
second.
Brian?
Oh yeah.
We can add ocean sounds there this week.
Seagulls?
Yeah,
Seagulls?
so the
Seagulls
Shah,
would be
yeah,
good
Can we-
there
can we
too.
do
Yeah.
more gas than the Shah
You know what?
of
It
Iran.
actually looks like it's going to storm for a second there.
Yeah.
But it never
At the top.
does. It never rains on the Love Boat.
It never does.
It never
rains
rains on the Love Boat.
on the Love Boat.
Do you think 2 years from now she would have said, that burrito is going to give you more gas than the Ayatollah Khomeini? Do you think that would happen?
That's topical, right?
That's topical.
We
Ba-dum-bump.
we
Next for
catch
my-
Steubing walking through his cabin trying to avoid the paint that's being done by Artie and Pat Morita here.
Right.
And he does it. He gets all the way through, all the way around a bunch of stuff, and then like an idiot, he leans up against the pole.
But why doesn't he like it? What he's in the room, and does he have a problem with it? Because he seems to be frustrated here. I don't remember what's going on here.
He's just
because Steubing is always frustrated one way or another.
he really is.
Come
That's
on now,
true.
be honest.
He doesn't really say anything. He's just starting to dislike
the
it.
man is so anal retentive. It's not even funny.
Like, I think he's not seeing much of a difference right now.
I mean, look. I mean, he's like touching Pat Morita.
Anthony, go back and watch the pilot and watch how Captain Steubing is in that one.
I really do.
It's
I
not
really
even the
do that.
same guy.
It's on YouTube. You could catch it on. That's the only place we found
Yeah,
it. but,
the original, the third pilot to this.
yeah, it's got the cast that's now, and then it had like Audra Lindley was in that one. Robert
Schneider.
Snyder, yes,
Gold. Gold, I tells you.
Those two versions.
They weren't anybody though. I don't
And
think.
that
Right?
was
Yeah.
terrible.
That's a horrible story. Good luck with that one.
What are you drinking there, Anthony?
A Paco Martinez.
Bullet tenure.
I get nothing on that one.
I didn't hear what you said. I was looking at his.
Remember when
Nah, you got nothing on
Suzanne
that one.
Summers drinks?
Oh, well,
she had a Paco Martinez
and 3 Jack Daniels and 2
Suzanne
Four Tom Collins.
Yeah.
What the weird part about the weird part about the paint that Steubing is getting on himself right now? He gets it on his head.
Well, because he
Yeah, he
bumps
does
his
get it
head
on
But he
his
doesn't
against-
even
bumps
he
his head
doesn't
against
do
it.
it. He doesn't even do anything with it. It's just really awkward and weird.
You know, I just like to point out that Pat Morita and Artie Johnson are not actually, and so he walks out of the room with paint on his butt. Now, I don't know if it's getting too far ahead, getting into the weeds of this, but
Yeah.
they are not actually painters. They're con
No,
artists.
they're not.
That's also a
They're
spoiler.
con
alert,
artists.
yes.
Yes.
They have spent this
spoiler.
entire cruise, this free cruise that they've
Spoiler alert.
stolen.
I know. He just threw in the ending. of this
Painting.
episode.
All they've done is paint. They're
That's
always in this room. It's
the
not like
very
you.
end, Andy.
It's not like yeah, but if you've watched,
Andy,
you're
you
not
fucked
listening.
it up.
You're not listening to this podcast unless you've watched
sorry,
the
I'm
episode
sorry. Go,
already.
go,
and
go.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that
You're
like
right.
they think that they've scammed Princess Cruises out of a free cruise, yet all they've done is sit in a room painting the whole time. They
Yeah, what do
painted
you-
it 3 different times, right?
what do you think-
They painted Captain Depp's room. They painted Steubing's
Depth room.
Saigon blood
What do you
red or
think,
whatever, and then they're going to paint it blue later
What's a
on.
5-day cruise cost back in '78?
I don't know.
I have a question.
I want to say
Is
that
there-
they've said it before, like $600 or something like that, which probably was a lot of money back
Yeah.
then.
Go
A lot of
ahead.
money
What do you
now.
got there? Ant? You said you had
No,
a
I
question.
got a question. I'm
Yeah.
like, has anybody ever seen? So I haven't watched The Love Boat, Christ, since I was 7.
And yet
I mean,
we
like,
invited you
I mean,
on our
years.
Love Boat podcast.
You are.
I was yes.
We
Yes.
got to get this
But
guy
this
on.
guy-
He's our
But you know
guy.
what, though?
He's got something.
I've watched this one and the next, which Andy, I'm sorry, I kind of.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
He already
so-
forgot.
I did forget.
yeah. Okay. Good. So I'm just like, has anybody ever heard of or talked about or seen the deputy captain?
Not as far as we're aware, like no deputy captains
Yeah,
ever
I-
popped up.
Okay.
As of the
And what's his
just-
role?
just-
Is he the
okay,
guy that's actually
just saying.
steering the boat?
Just
yeah,
saying.
because Steubing's never on.
Steubing's
he's
never on the
bridge,
deck of the
yeah.
boat. He's never up there. He's always glad handing.
Keep
guests.
those kids off the bridge.
So when the Love Boat sinks, does the deputy captain have to go down with the boat too? Or he'd be like, "This is your ship, dude.
Oh fuck
He-
no!
he's-
You
Fuck
ran.
no.
You
He's
ran
like,
into the
"Captain,
rocks."
Captain,
like-
your job.
It's going to
Is
be
there a band that
captain
plays?
and the
Is there a
band.
band
That's
that
it.
plays
Yeah.
a la Titanic?
There has to be right.
Charo's going to be playing.
Charo
in the
might be
band.
playing.
Charo?
Yeah. She's very good on guitar.
Gum, gum,
She's
gum,
won
gum.
awards, right? Didn't you look her up in the?
Yeah, she was
She won
an
awards for it.
accomplished
Yeah.
guitar player and singer.
And her age varies from there's like a 12-year difference, possibly anywhere from. She's anywhere from 12 to 89.
I saw some. I can't even talk about this. We'll talk about it after. I don't even want to get into it. Not Charo at all. Something else.
I like the line coming up right here from Tom.
So now we're at night, and now so Anson, Potsie, and Julie are
I'm sorry,
cavorting.
Anson
He calls her Metal Mouth here.
Yeah,
she admits she had a crush on him. She had a huge crush on him, and she just laying it all on the line here. Offers his coat.
I am a priest. But
well,
no,
I think you're really
that
special too, Julie, but I can't because I'm a priest.
I'm a priest. Hey, listen, you're into me? That's awesome. Why did you get me like 10 years ago before I went to priest school?
Yeah.
And here comes the doctor.
Look at those eyes. Those
better.
eyes, though.
Julie's
Come
hot.
on.
Julie's hot. For sure.
Dude, the doctor wasn't.
But Anson Williams is not playing it like he's like, I can't do this.
No, instead of saying he's a priest, he says he's got to run off and do postcards.
He kind of is like, that's why I was getting the gay
he
vibe.
He did postcards from the Edge.
I was getting the gay vibe from him, not the priest vibe from him, because he was not doing the, I can't do this, I can't do this. He was like, almost like not picking up on the hints.
Yeah.
Not that a gay person wouldn't pick up on the hints, but as a priest, you would think he would be like, listen, I can't do this because of Jesus or some shit. But
she said, "Night is young, my fanny."
I am of the cloth.
I am of the cloth.
Which would bring up a whole nut. Which, if you weren't really a religious person, you'd be like, okay, so what's your issue with the cloth? Never mind.
I'm glad Anthony drank a lot before we started this podcast.
Yes, I did.
Brian's going to edit you down to like 3 words. We're like, and this is Anthony.
Hi, and
then
hi.
Done. Anthony contributed nothing between all his.
I was going to say,
and then we'll get all kinds of emails saying like, "Oh yeah, you got to have that guy on again. He was great,
very insightful." All 3 words he said, that was great. He cut out all the nonsense.
They were like, best part of that podcast was that Anthony guy they had on.
I get the best thumbs in the episode.
Oh, look at that! He's got sexy thumbs, that Anthony.
Hey, we'll have to get pictures of those so we can post on the exciting and new podcast.
We should add Anthony's thumbs to our team picture with the cast there. It's just a thumb in the background.
In the portal. So Julie starts, or first she goes, "Night is young, my fanny." She's like really mad.
She did say that, my fanny.
Yeah. And that I thought she was even hotter after that. I was just like, wow.
But was that a saying? Did anybody say that
I think
like,
it was just,
my ass?
I guess she wanted to keep it clean. It was Saturday night on ABC, right?
Fanny is pussy.
Oh, I thought it was butt.
No,
I thought it was ass.
It was butt.
No,
it's always been butt.
In Britain.
We're not in Britain.
Oh, is it really? It's
definitely pussy in Britain.
Tell them we're not in Britain now. We're not in international.
You know what?
We're now in international waters.
They might be in international waters, actually.
Well, where are they? I forgot.
They're going down to Mexico.
Yeah,
they're
right.
on the Pacific. But
in Mexico, it's putang.
Well, that's definitely pussy.
No, I believe it's
that's not messing up with ass though.
I believe it's put in tain. Ask me again, and I'll tell you the same. I think that's what you were going for there.
Fanny, that
Fanny
like
Flag.
Fanny
Remember
Flag,
her? Yeah,
like Family Feud or Match Game.
Yeah.
But the fact that she says my fanny, like, in what way is she saying that? Like
this is
my ass. I guess
it's prime time.
But Brian's saying my pussy. You're not doing.
I definitely think it's prime time. Just keeping it clean from saying instead of saying.
Oh,
ass.
well, they didn't say ass on TV back then for sure. But she's
butt.
like,
they
don't even say hell and damn on this, right? Love Boat.
They might.
Maybe.
Yeah,
hell
I think I've
there.
heard damn. I think I definitely heard a damn.
Captain Stubing's like, the hell you say?
And so Julie's crying to Doc here. She says she thinks she loves him. She says
she's known him for 2 days, and I guess she doesn't. She's known
like
him.
He won't make it past.
She's known him for years.
Yeah, she's. I forgot she was the younger sister.
Some guys are
Metal Mouth.
Yep.
Doc giving her advice. Some guys are shy, and
Julie says,
pass at him.
Yeah, and Julie's like, I have been like, I've thrown it up on the table. He's stared at it.
She's like, she fell into his arms when he was jogging. I mean, what else could you? What else?
There's nothing else she could do besides just like getting on her knees and grabbing it. Like, there's nothing else she could do.
And,
maybe that. You know
that's
what?
the
Maybe
real Love Boat. That's Love Boat XXX. That's
we're NC-17 here at the Love Boat.
So Doc is, Doc the perv. He's giving her good advice. But Doc is probably like, Julie, let me take you back to my cabin. Give you a drink or two.
I've been married 4 times, Julie.
And now he hugs her deep.
I thought something was
hug.
going to happen here. Like she was going to be like, "Oh, Doc."
She's like, maybe I'm in love with you.
There's a line right here I love. Tom Poston says, "What a band! It's going to be a 3-shirt night."
3-shirt
thought
night.
that was-
What's that mean? He's gonna sweat through the
That
first
was
two? Is that what he
Yeah,
meant?
that's coming. That's right now. Yep.
Sweating through
He's
the
going
first
to be
two
dancing.
shirts.
He's telling him to go. She is good to go. He's saying
He says that.
about it.
He said she's throwing
And
it
then
at it.
you hear a
Throwing at
very
you.
seductive knock.
If you
And
she's still got
who
the
is
jacket.
it? It's Julie.
She's still got the jacket.
She's got the jacket to bring back, and Tom Poston sees himself out,
Yeah, he's like,
and he said, "He
as
goes,
he's walking
look
out,
at
he's
her.
going,
Go for
hit
it."
that shit right now.
go for it."
And now he's finally, I think,
And she
Potsy's-
says, "I'm not Bobby's little sister
I think
anymore."
Potsy's finally got it. Like he's like, uh-oh.
This line here, though, she goes, "She's a full-grown, red-blooded American woman, and she's looking for a full-grown, red-blooded American
American
man."
man.
I was
Exactly.
like, "Oh, Julie got so embarrassed from that line; it was so bad."
I gotta be
Dude,
honest.
halfway through that, I would have flipped her upside down.
I was watching this when I got home from work, and I was up late last night watching the game, and I must have fallen asleep at this point because all of a sudden he was a priest. And I was like, wait, whoa.
Wait, what
I'm like, what the hell?
Wait,
I'm like,
what
why
happened?
is he a priest now? And then now we know what's going to happen.
does
So I
happen
must
here.
have missed a couple minutes here where Tom Poston comes back with his
Well, right
heart
before
attack,
that, Julie
but yeah.
says she couldn't vamp. She said couldn't vamp a guy who has been on a desert island for 40 years, and then he calls her
Vamp
Did she
a
say
guy?
Wait,
Yeah, vamp.
Did she say vamp?
Vamp.
Did she say
VAMP.
What's
Yeah.
vamp? Like,
Oh, I saw it. I just saw it on.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
that one right.
subtitles. Wow.
I got that one
Brian,
right.
you're the smartest one here. What's vamp mean? Like vamping, like acting, like kind of.
Hooker.
Yeah, no,
Hooker.
yeah, that's a woman, a lustly
A lady
woman.
of the evening.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lustly woman.
So what's a vampire? Like, what's that? How's that connected?
That's a guy who bites your neck.
She
Oh.
basically
So
sucks
how
your
are
blood.
they? How are they
She
related?
basically sucks the life force out of you.
Vamp is like an old 40s term,
And a vampire is a.
a 17th century.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I wonder if
don't
they took vampire and made it just vamp.
And then there's Vampira. That's
Yeah.
the.
It was
I was thinking of
retroactive.
vampiro, right? Anyway, Tom Poston's back because he's having a heart attack.
yeah.
And he's on. Is he in a different shirt?
And then
He hasn't
there's-
been gone long.
I was
enough to
only
change
still the
shirts.
first
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
So he asked for a priest. He asked for a doctor.
Yeah, and he says not necessarily.
And then
In that order.
he goes. Well, you know what? Ask for the doctor.
Yeah,
And Anson
he's like,
Williams,
all you need to
throws
do is
around the.
And he turns around and say, "Well, yeah, I got you on this one right here.
I got-
Julie, just call the doctor. I got the other one. Don't worry
got
about
this.
it."
I got this.
And she's
I got
like,
this.
"You're a priest."
I would have been like,
I got the-
"Oh
I got the
my
Christ thing. I'm
god!"
good.
Bum, bum, ba-doo.
So
So that's how it goes to
It was
commercial back in the day.
It was a Chris Griffin. What?
So Potsy's a priest. What? Doc, we get him smiling here as he's like looking at Tom Poston. I thought that smile was really creepy.
I thought it was.
Just,
I
freaked
real
me
when
out
I
for some
when you
reason.
zoom in on the doc coming out of commercial and you see his face with the smile, I'm like, oh my god, he's closing his eyelids like he's dead. Like he's dead. He's like, I did everything I could,
That's
but
what I
he's
thought.
dead.
That's really
And
what I
then
thought,
and
man.
then he's
I
like,
thought
you're
he was gonna,
fine. I'm like,
he's
oh,
like,
I thought he was gonna be dead. So
Yeah, we'll
he's not
find
dead.
we'll find
He's
out
like,
what his
roll the blanket
diagnosis
up.
is later. We'll save that for later, though.
That's good because I actually don't remember what that is.
I
He
don't
tell
remember any of
Doc
that.
Do
tells
you
him to
remember it?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Doc
at all.
tells him he gave him a mild sedative.
Sedative?
To relax
A
him.
sedative?
Sedative.
Did I say sedative?
No, I said
Oh, I
sedative.
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 So Potsy tells Julie about how he's always a priest.
I think
He's
you were going
always
to say suppository.
Sapotsy.
Sapotsy.
Suppository.
And now,
Wait,
But she says
suppositive?
she remembers him as a great dancer, which is something that,
Okay.
that's the first time that
Oh,
comes up
that's
in the
right.
episode.
Alright.
You know,
See right there. Okay, in this shot, and I'm sorry, I might be ahead of you.
go
guys,
for
but
it. No, we see it.
at the 37:28 shot.
good lord.
Okay,
Sorry,
we're
we're coming up on it.
we're in the dance scene right before
They're dancing,
37:28.
they're
Yeah.
dancing.
All I'm saying is I'm going back to the whole cloudy. Everything
Okay,
is like-
there we go. We
Oh,
see
yeah,
it now.
yeah,
Yeah,
in 1
It's very
second.
cloudy.
yeah.
Seriously.
I did
All
not
right,
notice that until
Well, now because they're
yeah.
in what? They're in Puerto Vallarta now.
No, they're in Puerto Vallarta right now.
Yeah. So
Let's just go to storm.
well, they're in Mexico now. They're not out to sea.
Could be
Out to
hurricane
sea, it's always
season,
nice.
right?
Do they have them out
Anyway.
on the Pacific? I mean, I know the Atlantic.
Some
gets-
hurricanes are
Continue.
out there, but it's
do they?
rare.
Yeah.
So here,
Maybe they just get, I don't know, clouds and rain. Sometimes that happens too.
Captain's showing the Singapore saffron sunset to Gopher, and Gopher calls it yellow.
Yellow.
It's yellow.
And then he says,
Oh, look. It's yellow.
It's the same
he
yellow.
holds it up to the wall.
it's the same yellow as the rest
walls
of
there
the walls.
in the
Oh, look. Look. He's a
yellow.
senator.
Senator Gopher.
Senator
Gopher
Senator
pointing out
Gopher.
that
Senator, do you
How many
swear to
times
tell
do
the
you think
truth?
he gets called Gopher?
oh,
When
I'm
he's-
sure all the
when he's-
time.
Yeah.
It's like Gary Berghoff getting called Radar. I'm sure it's just part of his DNA now. He's like, whatever, I'm just Radar. But yeah, so Stubing has now realized that he has picked the color
he is
of the
pissed
ship
He is not.
as the color of
he's
his room.
not.
Artie and Pat think they're done painting, and Stubing says, no, paint it blue. He wants it blue.
I want everything blue.
Yep.
Think
The
blue.
baseboards, blue. The floorboards,
Is it blue?
The walls, blue. So it's like, I
Yeah,
want
everything
everything blue.
Blue.
And he does the hand gesture, everything. He gives the everything sign. If I saw this, everything, I'm painting
Or that
everything
looks
blue.
safe. Safe.
Or you're
Everything
safe.
blue.
Or you're safe. But everything is blue. And now they pour.
Oh, and he
And
gets
then the
paint on
shoes.
his
And
And
the
my shoes are
Oh,
now
yeah.
yellow.
Now yellow.
And then Gopher
Gopher rolls
says,
that up like-
synagogue,
Just like it's
saffron,
that's a
Saigon.
dick move by Gopher. Like,
Gopher's being
Wait,
dicky.
did you say synagogue saffron?
So whatever their name of the paint is.
Singapore,
Synagogue-
saffron.
Singapore.
and here we get
Synagogue.
here we were with Grandpa was waiting
Grandpa.
for Nancy to come back from
Because that's where she was going to meet.
she was going to break up with
Wait, was they still in
Randy.
Acapulco? They were
Randy.
meeting in Acapulco,
they're still
right?
they're leaving Acapulco
So
now.
that was
They're not,
that was not
Acapulco
Puerto
that we
Vallarta,
just
that's
saw.
Acapulco.
Yeah.
Okay. All those Mexican
So,
cities look the
um,
same.
So I thought about this.
Sorry.
So she's actually gonna, go see Randy. What's going on, Randy? Randy.
we don't know. I mean, we never see Randy, but Randy's some 19-year-old. He probably drives a moped. And,
Randy actually agrees a lot with Grandpa. We'll find that out.
but why is
just
he
a
in
few minutes.
Mexico? Is he Mexican?
He's Mexican.
Mexican.
He's Mexican. Damn it, man! You took it away from me. I need a
Simple
little more
minds.
Mexican, a little less
So,
Mexican.
so Grandpa's pouring the
Grandpa
cactus-
though
not
had a good
cactus,
line though. He said
carrot
why he didn't want to go into town. He said if you like quaint little Mexican souvenirs made in quaint little Japan, then he would have went into
Yes.
town. But he didn't.
which is a good line.
So he was
even
waiting for-
Mexico is getting a bunch of Japanese knockoffs
He popped
in the 70s.
the carrot juice because
Yeah,
he
the
didn't
champagne
because
bottle
he
was
was going to
full of
have
carrot
that
juice.
with Nancy, who
Yep.
does not show up. And
This might be the first episode
it looks
ever.
like he drank all of it.
He
too.
did all that carrot juice, man.
he drank all the carrot
He'll be
juice.
up all night. Is this the first episode ever without a captain's table scene?
I believe
There's
so.
always
so.
a captain's table
I mean,
scene.
this may be the first time pointing
That,
out.
you know what?
I-
And that's what I remember about this. When I used to watch as a kid, there was always a captain's table
There's
scene.
always a captain's table scene.
So here we get Grandpa coming back onto the ship, and he's really upset. They're leaving Acapulco and about to head to Puerto Vallarta at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Puerto Vallarta.
Thank God it's 8 a.m. in the morning.
Puerto, there it is, Puerto.
8 a.m. in the evening is always so late.
0800, yeah. So Nancy doesn't show, and dejected Grandpa starts going up the stairs, saying he's not having fun.
This guy comes walking in with sombrero and bare-chested. He just walked right past us.
And who's right behind him? It's Nancy with a
with
burrito.
a burrito. The spicy
Oh, with a
Grandpa.
burrito.
Grandpa hugs her, and it gets all over his pants and
And now the
shirt.
Shah of
Now
Iran's
he has to
going,
get
where's all
changed."
my gas?
He has to change his clothes, and it's a shower scene.
Oh,
How do you not think this is creepy?
it's totally
It's
creepy.
totally-
creepy.
But it's not
totally
creepy.
It's totally creepy, but
It
in a,
looks- it-
like in the
I'm
funny.
gonna-
Like
I'm
I
gonna-
made it funny. Like or
But
trying
I'm
to make
saying
it
if
funny.
that was
Wow.
if that was his real granddaughter, you wouldn't think it's creepy at all.
no, not at all.
And he's treating her like it's his real
And
granddaughter.
spoiler alert: maybe she will be
maybe.
for 4 months.
Yeah, right.
Too
This guy's
soon.
about to die, right?
He
I will take
she said-
care of you
remember,
forever.
she says it's a long process, so he might
Yeah,
not even have got
he
through the process.
Never made it.
Oh, man.
Any government process isn't taking 4 months. I've had solar panels on my
I don't-
roof. I've had solar panels on my roof for 3 months. Still not approved. Still not approved to turn them on. And that's just the township. This is federal government with all this stuff. That's never. She is gonna. He's definitely dying before she gets adopted by him or
Yeah.
fostered by him. Fostered,
he did.
adopted.
This is where
He did.
right there is
He
where
did.
Nancy tells him that it took a while for her to break up with the boy, and then by the time it was done, the boat had already left, and he drove all night to make so she could catch up with the ship to catch up with Grandpa.
So now they they left Acapulco, so they now are in Puerto Vallarta.
They're headed to Puerto Vallarta.
No, they were in Acapulco. They left Acapulco.
That's right. They were leaving at 8 in the morning.
Ended up in Puerto Vallarta, and then she had to drive from Acapulco to Puerto Vallarta. I'd like to Google map that at some point and see how long it would take to drive from Acapulco. It's probably like an hour and a half. She's like, they drove all night. It's like it's saying like, oh my God, I got left in Philly and I had to drive all the way to.
He might have had a moped.
He probably had a moped. He and Kelly,
right?
Kelly Leak had a moped.
One of those scooters or something.
Like not an electrical scooter, just like pumping it, like foot pumping the whole thing.
Oh my God, how tired?
Can we get a bike at least?
Hey guys, can we talk about the Blue Room?
Not yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we didn't get there yet. We've been on pause.
We keep pausing it. Sorry, Anthony. We probably should.
Yeah, we're at the scene where Gopher and Isaac.
Gopher is
watering.
Actually, another Isaac scene.
Isn't that
it's Captain's favorite plant.
His
and he's
favorite
watering
plant.
it.
Why is he bringing it outside to water it?
I looked at that plant. It's a fucking fern.
Yeah, well, that sounds like something.
In any floral shop.
I don't think there's any dirt in that.
And
either.
where's that thing getting sunlight
barely.
from the one little porthole that he's got in his room? But no, he's watering. I'm taking care of Captain Stubby's favorite plant, and then
he just goes.
Isaac goes. What does Isaac say? Isaac gives some kind of
what he's using to water the plant.
It's like
too.
a child.
Stole that from some kid that was playing in the sandbox.
He did. He totally stole it from some kid, and then Isaac made some comment about the plant, and then
he said
it likes seawater. It likes seawater,
salt water.
Yeah.
And this is one of those shots. It's real too. It's on the real boat.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
he just throws it off the boat.
And then they go, okay.
But now this is the second time he threw that champagne bottle off.
But we don't know what the joke
was.
There's
no payoff to this. There's no payoff to him now. He's throwing the bottle off.
None.
And he's throwing the plant off.
You know what's funny? Is there any use? Is there any use to the shot?
No.
It does
nothing.
It does nothing.
It advances no plot.
That's what I'm saying. Was it just like 15 to 30 seconds that they needed
filler? Were they short a minute
something,
and they said,
or they
get
just
on
needed
deck
some stupid gopher
like,
shot?
They're like, Isaac, if you want to do a scene, let's do this.
Isaac has it in his contract. He has to have at least 2 lines of dialogue. So get something.
Every 12 minutes, you have to have something to say.
Get something to say. All right, so now we're going back
this
to the.
This is what Anthony's looking
so they're
forward
walking
to. Here you go,
room.
Anthony. It's
and
blue.
This room
we're caught up now?
Blue.
Yes, it's blue. Everything is blue. Stubing and Doc are like.
I don't know why I think this looks like something out of Willy Wonka. Why
it was very Willy Wonka.
Right? That's exactly what I thought.
I thought that too, yes.
But why? Why is this like
because
Willy
you're
Wonka?
thinking of some of the rooms where there was very boisterous, like bold, like colors.
Okay,
like
all right.
Yeah.
But as soon as they walked in, I'm like, Willy Wonka?
It also could be Friends.
Friends.
Because it wasn't the
Or
walls
Friends.
like purplish blue all the
I
time.
think
I thought that was one of those.
But
you know what? I try to forget
so
Friends
these
over the
dummies that have been scamming these people out of a free cruise have not only painted this room 3 times, but now they've taken the time to paint chairs and desks and windows and books and flowers
the TV.
and TV. And I'm like, that would have taken a long fucking time.
Wait for it.
Wait
for it.
What are we waiting for? I
Go
don't
ahead.
know.
No.
Go ahead, say what you say.
The hat.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but he's like,
here it is,
your
right
hat.
here. He hands him the
him his hat, and it's pinky blue.
Here's your hat, sir.
And Stewie gives the old "Give me that," and then he just throws it to the ground.
Oh, he is mad.
He is
He is mad. And what's he doing?
Yeah, so Stewie now is walking around his blue room with blue paint on his butt and his head and his shirt.
Yeah, it's just.
And Doc was taking a drink there. Did you notice that Doc was like pouring a scotch? He's
and
like,
I saw that. Elevator
this room
scene.
needs a drink. Elevator.
Grandpa runs off the elevator.
I want to make a bunch of ship to shore calls.
Put it on his bill.
Put it on his bill, and Gopher said anything to make you happy. He's like, great, put it on your bill.
Real quick, going back to the blue room, Doc offered Captain tranquilizers, and then he was getting him water.
He's like, was it not scotch he was getting him? He was getting him water for the tranquilizers are much better with hard alcohol. So now they're back. You can tell they're back in.
So I mean, you kind of get an idea what maybe Grandpa's using those calls for.
You knew it was going to happen, yeah, for sure.
Then Julie's talking to the painters who are hiding behind the
bar
where Isaac should be.
Yeah,
He's not there.
Listen,
This is not an Isaac episode.
we have a
That
habit of
upsets
calling
me.
out the stupidity of some of these
We haven't
episodes.
had any Isaac centered themed episodes, have we?
Yeah,
It'll happen.
Isaac with
I'm sure it'll happen.
the singer
Carroll.
Diane Carroll.
Oh yeah, that was right.
That was
Yeah, we did
the
get one. That's right.
But like, how dumb is this whole plot with these guys? Now they're hiding, so they've really enjoyed this free cruise they've gotten.
Julie tells him to get off the ship.
Yeah.
She's like, get, and then they mentioned that it wasn't blue.
Oh yeah, it was magenta something, right?
Midnight Mediterranean magenta.
I thought magenta was like
Midnight Mediterranean
reddish, wasn't it?
magenta. Yes. It was the whole magenta thing. I'm like, we're here. You know what? I'm at that point right now where she's in the bar going,
yeah, that's where
"Where
we're
are
at.
you?"
Yeah,
And they,
She's holding out her hand,
yeah,
and
she
they-
gets
and they
paint on her
come up.
hand now.
and they come up from the bar.
and these two dummies.
Oh yeah, we're a little head. We're about at the end of the scene here. They're talking about
These
they
two
just
dummies.
the free. They got a free cruise.
Now they
is what
want to
they're
go become
mentioning here.
ski instructors. They don't know how to ski. Well, we don't know how to paint either. So
Yeah.
now you know it was all a con. But I don't understand. Did they enjoy this cruise at all? They've spent it painting the entire time.
And are they lovers? They're doing all
They
this?
they might
might
be.
hide.
They might
They
be.
were hiding
might
the whole
be.
time.
But
too,
I'm really
yeah.
not
might
sure.
be.
I don't get what the scam is because they did a lot of work.
They're like, you know what? let's-
You know what? They got a free cruise out of it.
but it's not a free.
Did
cruise,
they enjoy it
right?
at all? I didn't see them eating
If
one
they had to
time.
do
You know
that
what,
work,
you
it's
didn't
not
see-
free.
You didn't see the. You didn't see the side time when they
Well-
were actually sitting out on the poop deck.
They need to show that. Then they need to show them. They should have shown them fooling
Artie
around,
was dyeing Pat's
like
hair.
being up on the deck eating, and
I don't
Captain
wanna
Stubing
see-
should have
I
been
don't
like,
see Pat Morita
"Why are you
fooling
not
around."
down in my stateroom painting my room instead of being up here on
Midnight
deck?"
Mediterranean
Yes.
magenta.
I don't get it. I don't get the scam. I don't get it. I think
And
it's bad
here we're
writing.
gonna get Grandpa and
Bad writing.
and Nancy, and Nancy is bawling.
Oh, because
Bawling.
they have to say
Bawling.
goodbye.
She's really upset.
Yep, and Grandpa's
you know what's funny?
Grandpa's holding onto her hand aggressively here.
Honestly, at this point, I had no idea what was going on. I thought I had seen this episode when I was a kid, and I'm like,
Oh my God,
she's
Anthony, that was
like
40 fucking years
crying.
ago.
She's
Yeah.
crying
I couldn't
really
figure out,
hard
like,
She
here.
says,
What the
she
hell?
says you couldn't
I'm
have
like,
told
what
me
the
that.
hell is going on here?
She's like, just let me go. It's over. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
He
get away
stops.
from you. She
He
knows she's got to
stops.
go back to the house she hates.
He looks.
And what kind of hat is he
sky.
wearing? Is he
He's
on
like,
safari?
and she's crying.
And here it is. She
But
wants
this
to
is
go.
where
She
she
wants to
really
go. Let
loses
me
it.
go. Let me go. And he's like, smell the air. You know, like.
Smell that L.A. air. Woo.
And then we see her. I guess it's her caseworker.
Caseworker,
Yeah, her caseworker is there, standing there,
So
and
is that
she's
what
like,
a caseworker looks like in 1977?
I believe
Sure.
so.
Those
I-
glasses were standard issue. My mom, not a caseworker,
like a
had
brown
those
suit,
glasses.
right? Like a brown dress.
My
Look
mom,
at
Well, what are
your mom
you
with those
doing
glasses.
here? Hi, so nice to finally see you in person.
we've been talking a lot. I mean, how many times because they've talked over
I mean,
a phone?
Probably
12
3 or
hours
4
ago?
times, I'm thinking.
So
and
he-
they're talking about maybe making Grandpa become her foster parent, and she's like, "What?"
listen, to the caseworker's credit, she does say he will have to go through a background check because he's obviously an old perv. So we have to see how many previous
Again,
violations.
a Lifetime movie could happen from this
Yep.
story.
So anyway,
And we go to credits.
he gets her, and he's gonna get her.
No, not yet.
But he
We got to
gets her.
see Tom Poston
Oh, wait,
and
wait, that's
Potsie.
right,
at the
that's
I
right.
believe that. I believe this is where the term
Potsie.
grooming comes from.
Pot-
He is grooming this girl.
the Potsie priest.
Potsie's
Potsie.
Potsie's saying
Priest.
goodbye to Julie, right? That's
All I gotta say is,
right
dude,
here, yeah.
Yeah,
Potsie's
this is
hair.
let me
is
tell you
amazing.
something. Just last week we had an episode where there was a priest on. It was damn, who was the priest?
Durwood.
Right. The second God damn.
Durwood was
Second
Phil
Derek
Silvers. Oh yeah,
Bewitched. Second
Father Mike.
Right.
Father Mike.
This guy's false advertising. He's wearing regular clothes. He
Yeah,
should be wearing the collar at
Is
least.
a certain like
This is false pretenses. If Julie
It
went
is.
down
It
on
totally
him, he would.
is.
It wouldn't.
It totally
that's
is
not her
because
fault.
you know what? If he was, he should have come on the boat with at least a little collar.
It's something.
Something,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
So-
I mean, yeah, or even at dinner, wear it to dinner or something, right?
Or like a button that says like "I fuck Jesus" or something like that. I don't know. Sorry.
Potsie gives Julie a kiss.
You don't have to bleep that out.
You know what, Andy?
Before-
Andy, if I thought you were going to hell before,
All the
you
other
were
people
totally
I don't
going
want
to
to
hell now.
offend, that whoever that offended, I'm glad I
Before the kiss there from Potsie to Julie, Tom said goodbye, and then Potsie told Julie that he didn't have Tom didn't have a heart attack. It was acute indigestion and an overabundance of boogieing.
Was it cute?
It was acute,
It was.
really cute.
It was cute.
Those were all symptoms from the boat. He obviously had a heart problem before he got on the boat, right?
Yeah, remember he had
yeah.
his horse tranquilizer.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he's all of a sudden he can throw the pills
Ketamine.
overboard.
Okay,
He got
brought
this. He got that
ketamine
from
on
Keith
boat.
Moon.
That's like Brian telling us his kidney stones are caused by this stupid fucking podcast, which it might have. It might be a
I
symptom
mean,
of.
we can't prove that it's not caused
Can't-
by it.
like he didn't have kidney stones before this podcast started. So here we are. Anthony, that's the end of the episode. Now Jason's going to regale us with who's on next
Tell us.
week's episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna give just
we'll do a little
a quick glance at
tay-to-tay
the
about that.
at the guest stars for next week, and I see Kathy Bates. That's got to be a young Kathy Bates.
I mean, she was
Very
nobody. I
young.
mean, the first thing, obviously,
He was
anybody-
nobody back then.
Misery was like late 80s, right? Maybe early
that
90s
might have been
even?
90, even 91.
I think her career
something,
was
yeah.
misery back then.
Well, what?
Oh,
What was she doing back then? There you go.
Nice.
Anthony, you got a little
There it is.
thingamajiggy. You got a rim shot.
Nice.
Or rim job, one of the two.
Misery was 1990.
So this is 12 years before that.
Yeah.
Or 13 years before that. I wonder why she was on this. Like, who was she on a show or something like that? We'll discuss that next week, I guess. when
Yeah,
we
and
do.
after that, Bob Crane.
Oh,
Bob
Hogan.
Crane.
He was still alive.
I'm sure we got some
He
things
was
we
still
could
alive
talk
in
about.
78?
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
beaten to death by his.
He wasn't beaten to death or
swinger
suffocated or something like that?
He
right?
was murdered in 78, June 29th.
Oh, so
Wow,
he was
so it was right
very
after
soonly
that.
dead.
It must have been right
Yeah.
after that episode.
And
We should have a poll going, like who dies closest to their last Love Boat appearance. Like Will
we
Greer,
need to-
this
yeah.
guy we know dies
he's
4
listed as
months.
homicide.
Well, yeah,
So let's
somebody
see,
beat
he-
his brains in.
So he dies
He didn't do
June
it himself.
29th, and this episode aired
In January, because this is December. This one.
January 7th.
Yeah.
So it was probably filmed the year 77. It was probably filmed then. And then, wow, yeah.
And he was riding high on all that Hogan's Hero.
Oh, he was
money,
high,
and-
all right. Hey-oh.
And the Hogan Zero money.
And to
Yeah.
this day, no one knows what happened. There are theories. We'll discuss those next week. I'm sure half our episode next week will be discussing Bob Crane's murder.
A couple of names I don't know off the top of my head, so we'll skip them for now. Robert Hayes. Robert Hayes.
Come on now. We know Robert Hayes.
Striker,
Airplane?
striker.
Is
that who it is? Okay.
That's Andy's favorite airplane actor
Oh my God,
And that's
of
Well,
all time.
Lloyd Bridges.
there's a few others there, but I don't
Bridges,
know them
yeah,
off the top of my head
but
there. But
come on.
yeah.
Some people have to do some deep dives on, like, what was the chick's name in this? Bran
Bane.
Johnson? Bane.
Bane
Johnson.
Nancy, her name.
By the way,
Bane?
when I Googled her just to see who she was, I typed her first name in, Bayn. Guess what?
Yeah.
Her name came
What?
up first. As a no-name actress, she came up first because I don't
that's
think
not a popular
anybody
name.
else in the world has that name. Anthony,
Yes.
we're going to say goodbye to you.
I love you guys.
It's been a blast, man.
We're gonna do. We're gonna mention our goodbyes, say our names, and you could throw your Twitter handle out
okay.
there and Instagram, whatever you want to promote.
I'm prepping you for the goodbye then. How's
yeah.
that sound?
My Twitter handle is AGaletta.jr.
there you go, Agaletta JR on Twitter. Everybody
Agaletta
follow
JR.
him.
And thank you so much. I
It was a
appreciate
pleasure. We'd love to have you on again sometime.
You know what? I am
He's so
available
excited.
every-
Is that's
Friday
definitely a
night.
yes.
Anthony, I love you, brother.
Love you, man.
It was
easy.
awesome, man. Really enjoyed it, man.
I will. You know what? I hope to be on again. And Andy,
we'll
I
have
will.
you.
You know what? If I don't talk to you between now and then, but I will.
You will.
You know what? I want to see you next summer. So
Oh, next summer.
Love you
man.
guys.
We're
So
at the end of this
far
summer.
away,
Jesus
dude.
Christ, man. It's so far away.
We're coming out to Red Rocks. We're going to a show.
And we'll take this
gonna
podcast
be
on
a
the
weed.
road.
Gonna be a weed show, right?
It'll be a Ween show. Would be awesome, man.
In Colorado, no?
Yeah.
And all
My
our,
wife. You know what?
all our
Hey,
carry-ons
by the
going
way,
to
before
this
I go,
equipment.
my wife is a huge Ween fan. So just so you know.
So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's awesome.
All right, man.
And I'm Jason. You can catch us on the Exciting and New podcast. That's our handle on Twitter. And I'm Jesus74 on Twitter.
And I'm Andy.
AE Gonzo1 on Twitter.
And I'm Brian.
Papa what?
Papa Bad
And
Kitty.
Papa Bad Kitty.
And I'm just an asshole.
Send good
Hi.
wishes. Send
Galetta
good wishes to
JR.
Brian. Send good wishes to Brian.
JR.
Later, brother.
Later, man. Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.